Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Fantasy Endgame. Thanks for joining us. We're here to help you win at fantasy. Once again, heading to week 14, we're going to answer your start sit questions, your waiver wire questions, maybe trade questions, anything fantasy related to help you get an edge, prepare for the playoffs because not that far away. And some of you, the playoffs apparently have already started. We know some leagues, people are telling us it starts week 14. So we'll go over the latest news and talk about maybe the upcoming game tomorrow, just for a little bit, because it's Patriots and the Steelers, and get you ready for next week. So not anything shocking today. I don't think it was a big news day. We did get confirmation then the Vikings that Josh Dobbs will be the quarterback. There was some thought that maybe they would go to Nick Mullins. Is that who it was? I guess they looked around. They're like, yeah, I guess we'll just stick with what we got.
Yeah, I mean, technically, if you remember, Nick Mullins was the backup to Kirk Cousins, but then he went on IR. But yeah, it didn't really matter. I think, Kevin O'Connell after that game 2 weeks ago, I guess, for the bye, sounded like he was not going to play Josh Dobbs. I'm guessing after a week, cooler heads prevailed, and they said, okay, let's give him another shot because, yeah, I mean, he was awful in that game before the bye, but he was good in the games before. I mean, that's the thing. When Josh Dobbs is what you're going to get, right? You're going to get moments where you're like, whoa, how did he do that? And then you're going to get moments like, oh, how did he do that? That's what you're going to get.
Yeah. Why did he do that?
Yeah, exactly.
That's still, I mean, look, as bad as that whole game was and as bad as Dobbs was in that last game on Monday night, it still felt like a real knee-jerk reaction. Like after a guy had been pretty good and been talked up so positively to his one bad game. And again, that game was really bad, but after basically just one bad game with that team to just say, that's it, you're gone.
Right.
Especially this is not like a Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle situation where they're really looking around like, man, this is all we have. Like it doesn't really make a difference who they start. They traded to get Josh Dobbs. Why would you all of a sudden after one bad game be like, that's it, you're done? So that didn't make sense to me. No. He's back and gets Justin Jefferson. So let's talk Justin Jefferson. A lot of people are going to ask, is he just set, forget, no matter what, you have Justin Jefferson, you have to start him?
I mean, for the most part, yes. He's not this isn't like Justin Jefferson before the injury with Kirk Cousins where it's like, let me see how many wide receivers I would rank over Justin Jefferson. Oh, there aren't any. You know what I mean? You can there's certainly wide receivers I would start over Justin Jefferson this week, and not just because it's like, hey, first came back from IR. It's more that he's got Josh Dobbs now. And look, Jamar Chase came through this week with Jake Browning, but what did Jamar Chase do the previous week with Jake Browning? Not a whole lot, right? Same with Devontae Adams, sure. He's had some nice games with Aiden O'Connell. He's had some duds with Aiden O'Connell. That's when you have these type of quarterbacks, it's like you're not going to have that week in, week out good feeling about them. But you've been holding Justin Jefferson for 6 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever it is. And then this week you're going to be like, I don't know. I'm going to play, Calvin Ridley over him, or I'm going to play, Puka Nacua over him. Nah, just put Justin Jefferson in your lineup.
Right. And there's some teams that traded for Justin Jefferson, kind of bought low. This is what you've been waiting for. The concern I think is just that I don't think that Josh Dobbs is not capable of getting Jefferson the ball and make him a fantasy stud. This is his first game with Josh Dobbs as his quarterback. That's what we have to see. How much he gets targeted, I would think a lot, but you can't assume. And what the connection is going to be like. So that's, the feeling out process. Chemistry really does matter between a quarterback and a receiver.
Yep.
So we'll see how that goes. Other news, Zach Wilson back at quarterback. Speaking of the Jets, which I don't know, does it matter? Do we really need to speak about the Jets?
No, I mean, it's pretty sad when if you have any Jets players, you're actually excited that they went back to Zach Wilson. You're like, oh, thank goodness. At least maybe my players are salvageable. Maybe. I'm still. You still can't feel good about him. But I will say one thing about Zach Wilson. At least he's semi-mobile. He's not a complete statue. He can move a little bit, which maybe could help because this offensive line is basically terrible and can't block anybody. But I mean, this is like, it's like you tasted something really bad and you're like, man, that was like terrible. I don't ever want to eat that again. And then you taste something even worse, and that thing you had before doesn't seem as bad, but it's still bad. You know what I mean? But it's still bad. It's just you had something even worse. So now this one doesn't taste as bad. Still bad. Still bad.
Doubt that it is, aged any better after the last 2 weeks. Just sitting on the bench, the Zach Wilson experience, I feel it's going to be pretty similar.
Yeah.
But it can be worse than Tim Boyle. I can say that. At least he wasn't as bad as Tim Boyle. So there you go. At least Garrett Wilson, you could consider possibly starting him, but I'm still going to try not to. So, and then we're going to talk more tomorrow night about the game that's coming up, the first game of the week. But before we do, the Patriots and the Steelers, which again, there's really not a whole lot to talk about there for fantasy purposes. It is interesting to note that Steelers are banged up. We already know Pickett's out, so we got Trubisky at quarterback. And now Najee has missed practice twice, I believe, and he's definitely in question for this game. If Najee doesn't even play, how high can we be on Jalen Warren?
I think we can be fairly high on Jalen Warren. I mean, we know he's going to get every touch. It's not a great matchup against the Patriots, but I mean, he's going to be out there pretty much every snap, right? I mean, who else? I don't even know who the number 3 running back is, to be honest. So he's probably going to be out there 80+% of the snaps. We know he can catch passes. You got to be fairly high on him. But I did see today that they said there's optimism that Najee Harris will still play. So Najee Harris to me is one of those guys I feel like he can not practice and then still play. This guy has not missed a game since like his sophomore year of college. It's crazy.
True. This is true. He's not a guy who misses a lot. He'll be out there probably. How much will he do for fantasy? Not sure, because Patriots are a decent defense. And like I said, this game is just not going to be high scoring. This would truly be the most shocking thing to me if this game even hits 40 total points. 40 feels like extravagant. I don't know.
Yeah.
And also, as if you even wanted to think about considering any Patriots player. Demario Douglas out, so he's not playing. Don't even try to think of who else they have at receiver, because it's not good. But Zeke, how are you feeling about Zeke now after having to say yes to him way too many times yesterday?
I'm feeling pretty good about Zeke. I can't lie. I mean, it pains me to say it, but like, I don't think we're gonna have a big Zeke game. Like, a big Zeke game would be him like falling in the end zone, right? And then he gets you maybe like 16, 17 points, but 60, 70 yards, catch 3 to 4, maybe 5 dump offs, maybe fall in the end zone. I mean, look, that's RB2 territory these days, sadly. So, yeah,
it is. I mean, he could I think he could approach 100 total yards total. I think that's doable and could score a touchdown. Again, that's, I think, his ceiling. But I think it's doable, because what else are they going to do in New England other than just give Zeke the ball?
Right.
All right, we'll see how that goes. Najee still up in the air. Look, if he actually does suit up and play, I'm not sure how he'll do, but I would still feel good about him getting a yard. And yes. I mean 1 yard. Why do I bring this up, you might ask? Well, if you watch the show, then you know why I'm bringing it up. It's because of Underdog. They always have a new customer special. So right now, until tomorrow, here it is. If you have not signed up for Underdog yet, you do it right now using promo code ENDGAME. You get that pick'em Najee Harris higher than 0.5 total yards. He plays, will probably get a yard. Take the higher, you win that pick. You can combine it with any other pick, and you can get 3 times your entry for the pick'ems. And there's plenty of other options too. Pretty much every player you can think of that matters for fantasy, and on defense too. Defensive players, kickers, who might be a lot more viable in fantasy this week than the offensive players in this game. So you can do all sorts of picks, all sorts of stats. Take the higher or the lower, but for the Najee one, go higher. And you also get that deposit match, 100% up to $100. Look, if you haven't tried Underdog yet, I don't know what to tell you. Don't know why. If you've been watching us and you are aware of all these promotions, specials, there's really no excuse unless you happen to live. And we have a lot of overseas viewers, like people who might live in exotic countries and places where different laws. And, we have people from Korea, Europe, Florida, all sorts of places where the laws just don't apply. So anywhere that Underdog is legal and you're allowed to play these pick'ems, check it out. Use promo code ENDGAME, though, to make sure you get the deposit match. All right. We're here to answer your questions. Speaking of Europe, I believe it's Europe. Dan O.
What's up?
I'm from overseas. Locked in first place in my league, and would like to thank you for. Oh, well, that was nice. Let's see. Chances to win it all. Let's see. Dak, CMC, Kyron. Yeah. Monra, JJ, Nico, Olave, White, HM, McBride. Yeah, you'll probably win it all.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's fantasy. You never know, but you certainly have a very, very, very strong team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. You don't even really need JJ to come back and be a stud. You could still be. He could be like wide receiver 2-ish, 3-ish, and you'll still be fine with this team. So, but you never know. Crazy things happen in the playoffs, and we'll keep saying that. Just keep expectations realistic. And Chris All In, also I believe from England, if I'm correct. All right, so full PPR. Should I trade Derrick Henry for Hawkinson because he lost Andrews?
I mean, you'd have to have no need for Derrick Henry at all. He has a good playoff schedule. I think the one bad matchup he has is week 17. So it could be 2 years in a row where, as someone who traded for Derrick Henry in a Dynasty League just to try to win the championship and did not get Derrick Henry in week 17 because they decided he didn't need to play that week, could be 2 years in a row where he lets you down in the biggest game. But he up to that point, he has a really good schedule. I would not want to trade Henry straight up for Hawkinson. I will say, though, Taysom Hill did not practice today with hand and hamstring injuries or something. So Taysom Hill ride maybe over. I don't know. We'll see. It's only Wednesday. We'll see. I don't know. I'd like to get at least something back. Maybe a handcuff. Can you get a handcuff back with Hawkinson?
Yeah, I get there's not too many tight ends that you can feel great about that give you this good upside, but for us, a really solid running back like Derrick Henry with his type of side, I feel like it's too much, right, to give up for Hawkinson. Hawkinson's good, but I don't think. You see a guy who really is going to be a difference maker in winning you your week. Once in a while, have a huge game, but I don't know. I feel like it's a little too much to give up Henry.
Yeah, and especially now with Jefferson back.
Right, that too.
That's going to hurt Hawkinson's upside, So
you could finagle something else, maybe a different player for Hawkinson, although, probably the other guy won't want to do that. Maybe get something back, like you said. It depends here. South Sea, happy Wednesday. Got to pick 2. Cup, Moss, Puka, Flowers.
Oh, man.
Is Cup the one you're deliberating over here? Is he worth it?
Yes, that's the one I'm looking at. Cup actually has, when you look at the coverage matchup, coverage grade, he actually is the only one that has a plus matchup this week against Baltimore. I'm also worried. Here's another reason why I'm worried. We're not we're not people who overreact to oh my gosh, it's gonna drizzle, don't start anybody. But this is what it's saying about the Rams-Baltimore game, which is really unfortunate because I just dropped like some fab on Matthew Stafford where I've been rolling with Baker Mayfield every week, and there's no QBs on waiver wire, and I have to win this week to make playoffs. It's going to rain a lot on Sunday in Baltimore. The worst of it may end up coming after the game, but even in that scenario, I think the game plays wet with light rain, and if the system is a bit faster than what models are showing now, it'll be a slop fest. Winds are gusty too, 15 to 20 mile per hour sustained winds with gusts around 30. Ugly stuff.
Gusts around 30. That's concerning, especially for the passing game.
Yeah. So now I'm like, oh my gosh, should I just drop fab on Matthew Stafford? And now I'm gonna have to drop Matthew Stafford to pick up. I don't even know who, because like, can I play Matthew Stafford if it's like blowing sideways and pouring down rain? Like in Baltimore? I don't think so. Like, that's too risky. But I can't play Flowers over Puka or Cup.
Well, Flowers is in the exact same game, so it doesn't give either of those guys an advantage.
Yeah. Moss for sure, and then I'm probably going Puka. I just feel better about his involvement. Moss and Puka.
Yeah, for me, this is definitely Moss plus whichever end you feel better about.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I think Cup could bounce back, but if you got Puka, it would make sense to go with Puka, who's getting more targets these days. So let's say Moss and Puka here. Yeah, I actually dropped a couple bucks on Stafford, exact same reason, because I got Kyler Murray and he's on bye. So I don't know if there's anybody better out there, but now I have to take a second look.
I know.
A. Zerby needs to flex. Jaden Reed, Zeke, Madison, or Ford.
Have we heard what's going on with Christian Watson? I feel like we haven't gotten. Did he practice today? Well, what's going on? I feel like I haven't heard anything.
I haven't seen or heard anything. It's not helpful.
Right, like. I mean, because if Christian Watson's out, I'm probably going Jaden Reed. It's a good matchup for him. It's PPR. If not, I might go Zeke. But maybe the right play is just to go Reed regardless because it is PPR.
Yeah, the annoying thing here is, you got to make a decision on Zeke before tomorrow. Let me see. Considering likely. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like Matt LaFleur said he would know something by Tuesday afternoon, and then like they never said. I don't know. Maybe I don't follow the right beat writers. I don't know. Maybe I got to follow different Green Bay beat writers. I'm not sure, but I don't know. In PPR, I might go Jaden Reed regardless. Like, are we expecting a big Zeke game?
Well, we already talked about this. I think his ceiling is possibly 100 yards and a touchdown. But again, that's not expectation or a projection. That's ceiling.
Right.
Jaden Reed, I think his ceiling is about the same. I don't know that my feeling of Jaden Reed changes that much with Christian Watson. There's targets for both of them to go around. So I'm okay going Reed because I like the matchup for him. He's not a guy who's going to be dependent too much on targets. I think he's got touchdown. Well, I'll say this. I think he has more touchdown upside than Zeke. So,
yeah, because his team might actually score touchdowns.
Yeah, his team actually scores touchdowns. So,
in PPR, I'm probably going
Reed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to look. I don't see anything about Watson. It's too early in the week, I guess, to know. But there's definitely a chance he misses.
Well, they play Monday, huh?
Oh, they're the last.
Because we have two. For some reason, this is the weirdest. This is the weirdest NFL schedule year I've ever seen, ever remember. Not only did we get 5 overseas games, But now we have 2 Monday Night Football games at the same exact time. Why?
Why not? I really don't know why. But you're right. They play Monday, so we probably won't know. So
tomorrow's like their Wednesday, so we probably won't know till tomorrow. But I probably still go read either way.
Yeah, you're fine going read. It's PPR, so let's go read. All right, the Kraken. PPR 1 QB 2 flex sit start. JJ Adams, Kyron Jacobs, flex Moss Waddle. Tight end Ingram or Muth. Looks like we're picking between those.
All right, well, let's see. I'm going JJ and Adams. Oh, he's already got his lineup set. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's got JJ and Adams, Kyron Jacobs, and he's going to flex either Moss or Waddle. Like them both. But
it's PPR. I think I got to go Waddle. I mean, look, Moss has the floor probably. But Waddle against the Titans at home, like, he's got to at least be good enough, if not great. So I'm going to go Waddle at flex in PPR. And then I'm going Ingram at tight end. I mean, it's not a good matchup for either of these guys. And we don't know with Mitch Trubisky how much Freiermuth is going to get targeted and whatnot. So I'm going to go Ingram at tight end, Waddle at flex.
Yeah, I'm definitely going Ingram, even if Trevor Lawrence doesn't play. Like, both these teams have got backup quarterbacks. You still, even with CJ Beathard, got to feel better about the Jags passing offense than the Steelers passing offense. And Moss and Waddle, like them both, but I agree in PPR, Waddle has the higher ceiling.
Yeah.
Bench, fine bench in DK. QB, Dobbs or Stafford?
Oh, I would have said Stafford, but now with this weather news, I mean, let's see how the weather looks. You know, this can change, right? It can be like, oh, never mind. It's only Tuesday. This can change.
Yeah.
But if the weather is really bad in Baltimore, I might just go Dobbs. He gets the Raiders, not a tough spot.
Yeah, and it's really not a great defensive matchup anyways for Stafford on the road against Baltimore. So what you're banking on is the volume here. And if it's, going to be conducive to running the game, running the ball in the game and not passing. Yeah. So I guess for now, put Dobbs in. And we'll see. All right, Senor Royland, what is up? 2 running backs, 1 receiver, 1 flex. JJ, Addison, Olave, Rashad, Ford, Kyron.
It's got to be Rashad and Kyron at running back. Jefferson at wide receiver, Olave at flex.
Yep, pretty easily there. Definitely Rashad and Kyron, JJ, and Olave. All right. And then Young Money is back, sitting at 12-1. Nice. Definitely got the first round bye. But lost Tank. So for this week, not that it matters, should I flex Addison or Dameon Pierce?
I'd probably just go Addison. It's PPR. I mean, Dameon Pierce doesn't catch passes, doesn't pick up yards. Basically, he either gives you a touchdown or you get nothing. Just give me Addison.
Yeah, I mean, if it's for this week and you're just kind of finishing out the regular season, it doesn't make a big difference. I don't think either of these players will make a big difference either way. So let's go Addison, full PPR. Woods Girl says the weather in New England looks to be brutal, windy, rainy, and cold. We're talking New England. That game is on Thursday, though.
Yeah, well, the good news is they play in Pittsburgh on Thursday, right?
Right.
So, but we will keep you in our thoughts, Woods Girl, when you're dealing with that terrible weather while you're watching football. Gives you an excuse to sit on the couch and watch football.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Pedro, what's up? Pedro Navarez starts it. Playoffs finished in first. Here we go. 10-team PPR got Hurts, McCaffrey, H-and Devontae Smith, Puka, Cook, and Hawk on the benches. Watson, Deontay, Garrett Wilson, Taysom Hill. And then we need either the Jets or the Colts defense.
I don't know. Colts have been rolling lately.
They play Bengals? No.
Yeah, they play the Bengals. I mean, are we really buying in like to Jake Browning? Just go with the Colts. I mean, first of all, you're in first place. I don't know. Maybe there's a chance you could drop out of first and lose to bye, and you need to win this week. I don't know, but Colts have been rolling like 4 weeks in a row with great games. I'm not really sold that Jake Browning is him. So I'm gonna go Colts. I mean, Jets probably the better defense, but they do have to play CJ Stroud. That's not a great matchup for them, so I'm gonna go Colts.
Yeah. Most weeks it'll be the Jets, but against CJ Stroud, probably not going to get too many turnovers. So got to go Colts here. And as far as the lineup, it's fine. Can't start. Well, we don't know if Watson's going to play. Deontay, not putting him over those guys. Taysom Hill now questionable. Garrett Wilson, would you consider? I think it looks like he's got Cook. Is Cook a flex play? I mean, would you flex Garrett Wilson over Cook?
I mean, maybe with Zach Wilson back, I might. If it's PPR, maybe. Well, it's not a bad spot for James Cook this week.
No, he's startable for sure. That one is could go either way.
Yeah,
but you're in first place. Wait, so this is the playoffs? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is this start to say playoffs? Is this the first round of the playoffs this week?
Oh, maybe he's looking ahead. Are you looking ahead? Are you looking ahead to next week? Or is this the start of your... Some leagues do that, right? They do...
Yeah. But if it's a 10-team league, I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. I'll just say this.
Only 4, if it's a 10-team league, maybe only 4 teams make it. And so they do the playoffs weeks 14, 15, and then 16, 17.
Could be. Yeah. Could be. There's all sorts of variations. Well, so let's say Colts defense, and then... I'm still fine going with Cook. Not saying that because I was like, oh, you got to start Garrett Wilson now. But just wondering, thinking out loud. Moises, hold up. Needs to win to make the playoffs. All right. We need to choose 1 QB, 1 tight end, 2 running backs, and a flex. Lamar or Fields?
Should be Lamar. Let's see how that weather looks on Sunday.
All right.
Right now, I'm going to still say Lamar. I'm going to say Kincaid over Goddard. Needs 2 running backs, Mostert, Gibbs. I don't know, Khalil Herbert or Keaton Mitchell. I think you got to go Mostert and Gibbs. Nico Reed, Watson. I think you still got to go Nico. Look, if Watson practices all week and seems fine, then I'll go Watson. But if he's not practicing and they're like, well, maybe he'll try, maybe he'll see, like, nah, just give me Nico.
I think I'm just gonna go Nico regardless here. And then Lamar Fields, I do feel like you should still keep Lamar in there, but I'm okay pivoting to Fields if you're nervous about the weather. But let's wait and see. Kincaid for sure. Mostert, Gibbs. 2 running backs. Mostert and Gibbs, right? It's got to be Mostert and Gibbs. So that's it. And he said, has James Cook also... You putting Cook over Gibbs or Mostert?
Probably not. Who's Miami plays Tennessee at home?
Right.
Man, that one is close, actually. That one is close. I'm not feeling a big Mostert game.
It's really not a great spot for Mostert because Tennessee is typically more pass-funnel defense. HN obviously back and getting plenty of touches. So I agree. I don't feel a big Mostert week. I think he's still startable. The question is James Cook. What do we feel from him? And it's really hard to tell because we really don't know what we're going to get from James Cook on a weekly basis.
I know. Last week got great usage, but you never know when it's going to be a game where you're like, but he's gotten pretty good usage 3 games in a row, I feel like. So I might go James Cook because one thing about the Chiefs, like, no, they're not terrible against the run, but they're much better against the pass. And I feel like this game is Like, this is a must win for the Bills, right? This is basically a must win for the Bills. They're gonna get their best players the ball as much as they can. So I might go James Cook over Mostert just because, with Achane back, not a great matchup. I mean, you probably need Mostert to score. I might go Cook over Mostert.
Yeah, you're right. He has gotten pretty good usage the last 3 weeks, basically since they switched offensive coordinators. Last week, or I should say last game, they played 16 carries and 7 targets, 6 catches. The week before that, 17 carries, 4 targets, and then 12 and 2. So I think you're right. He actually should get more touches now than Mostert. The matchup's not any worse. So let's do that. Let's switch James Cook out for Mostert and flex Nico. Steven needs 2 to flex. Here's Watson, Deontay, Pickens, Addison, Odell, Warren, and Keaton.
Man.
Yeah. A lot of Steelers here. Well, we're going over this. Don't worry. Not picking on you, Steven. Just saying. A lot of Steelers. But we have to choose now. So if Najee is out, you just say Warren.
Yeah, if Najee is out, I definitely think Warren is one of them. I mean, I would want Watson to be the other, but if he doesn't play, who are you playing? Are you playing
roll the dice with Keaton, maybe?
Yeah. Warren, I think Warren and Watson are my top 2, and then if Watson doesn't play, I mean, it's the Raiders. Is it PPR? It doesn't say. Do you remember? Is he PPR? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Maybe Keaton. Maybe gamble on Keaton if Watson doesn't play.
Yeah, I would roll Warren out there, and Watson, you're right, is the one I want to wait on. I think Keaton. I mean, I don't see big upside with Addison, especially with JJ back. So see what happens. Big Luscious, where you been? It's been a while. Doesn't feel like it's been a while. Is it a crazy thought to play both tight ends, McBride and Laporta, starting week 15?
It's not crazy. I mean, based on your other options.
Yeah. Depends who you're flexing them over.
Right. It depends, who you're playing instead. I generally would not want to, but I mean, like if you look who McBride get in week 15. I mean, but here's the thing, McBride gets San Francisco. Oh man, that is like easily the worst spot for a tight end. Yeah. I mean, maybe if Hollywood is out, week 15. In week 16 and 17, maybe he gets the Bears and the Eagles. Week 15 it'll be tough. But I mean, it depends on your other options. I don't think it's crazy.
Yeah, the process itself, I don't mind the idea of it because McBride, like you said, he's been performing like a wide receiver. He's putting the numbers, getting the targets, getting touchdowns. So you got to like that, but it depends who else you got. So Boomer just dropping us a good evening.
What's up, Boomer?
And, it's their international approved Daniel Joyce shouting out from Australia.
I think that's our first from Australia. Nice. What's up?
It's about as far away as you could possibly get, I think, geographically. Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate you being here. And we have Rahul Ramesh. He's given up on Thielen, Hollywood, and Kupp. I think we've pretty much given up on Thielen. I don't know if I was back in on Hollywood, and of course, then he got hurt. Are you giving up on Kupp?
I'm on the fence with Kupp. I haven't given up yet. I'm on the fence. I certainly have not given up on Hollywood. Of course, we have to hope that after the bye, he's fully practicing and back to health. If he's still missing practices after the bye, then yeah, I probably need to, because maybe that heel is just never going to get right.
Yeah.
But you got Hill and Devontae. I mean, I don't know if I'm starting Hollywood or Cup over Odell. I mean, this week, yes. I mean, well, I'm sorry. I don't think I'm starting Odell over Hollywood or Cup, I should say.
Yeah, I would definitely go Cup over Odell.
Yeah.
Zay as a waiver wire pickup.
Yeah.
Sure. And then he's got Eckler. Giving up on Eckler?
He gets one more week. He gets this week. He gets this week against the Broncos. If he's terrible again this week, then probably.
Yeah. Ramondre, well, yeah, you can drop him. Cook is fine, and Tua is good. So yeah, you really wish your team was performing better with those receivers. Can't get too much confidence in Thielen. Hopefully, Cup turns it around. I mean, yeah, you can pick up Zay. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right, we got Thomas. PPR need upside. 2 receivers, 2 flex. Waddle, D-Hop, Thielen, JSN, Mingo, Hyatt, Shakir, Javonte Williams, and Ford. Once again, upside.
Waddle.
You want to say D-Hop.
I mean, what?
It's not Thielen. There's no upside there anymore.
No, it's not Thielen. I'm honestly debating Hyatt.
He's interesting. I can't put him over D-Hop. I can't.
I mean, if we're just going upside, like, what is the upside for D-Hop?
Last week, he caught 75 yards and a touchdown. 5 catches, 75 yards and a touchdown.
Okay, so 18 points.
Yeah, that's upside.
I guess. It's okay. But that was against who?
Tennessee, lastly, Indianapolis.
Now they play Miami in Miami. I mean, with Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard on the outside, who just held Terry McLaurin to 0 catches.
Well, I have bad news for you. Besides 2 receivers, we have to also pick 2 flexes. So we might have to start D-Hop and Hyatt and another guy.
All right. So, well, I mean, maybe I'm like over here. Like, we got Waddle, D-Hop, Hyatt, JSN.
Say it can't be either of the running backs.
No upside there.
And not
Waddle, D-Hop, JSN, Hyatt.
Yeah, I definitely Waddle. To me, D-Hop is the number 2 receiver. Not loving the upside potential for Jason this week, but over these guys, sure. And then I was debating Mingo or Hyatt. And Mingo did get a lot of targets last week. He could make big plays. But then Hyatt also very similar. So I'm fine going Hyatt. Take a chance. Maybe the DeVito Hyatt connection becomes a thing.
Didn't he have he didn't have a big game because he doesn't have a lot of catches, but didn't he have what did he have last game?
Hyatt?
Yeah.
No, yeah, Hyatt had a 100-yard game, I thought. 104?
Yeah, 5 for 109. I'm pretty sure Jonathan Mingo in that offense could never catch 100 yards. And that's not a knock on Jonathan Mingo. That's a knock on Bryce Young in the offense.
Oh, absolutely. But also going against the Saints on the road, that's definitely not a good spot. That's why I'll go Hyatt this week. All right, so there you go. Waddle, D-Hop, Jason, Hyatt, and good luck. Sammy. Another Hyatt question. Hyatt, Jacoby, Njoku, Zejo, Shaheed. I'm not sure Shaheed's playing.
Yeah, not gonna play me if he does. Pick 2. Probably Zay Jones and.
You said never Jacoby.
I didn't say never Jacoby, but I'm not feeling a Jacoby week this week. But I mean, Njoku, Shaheed, Hyatt. Are we banking on that again? It's the Packers. I guess Zay Jones and Jacoby.
Yeah. I think Jacoby, to me, feels the most solid out of this bunch. And then goes Zay Jones because he's a starter. Right. Let's keep going. By the way, if you dropped a super chat anytime since we got on live, we'll get to you, but we had them lined up since an hour before we even got on. So we'll get to you. Trigger Trey, Tua or Lamar this week?
Well, look, if the game's going to be all terrible, the weather, just go Tua at home against the Titans. He should have a great game.
The rest of the season, you'll probably just go Lamar because the schedule is much harder for the Dolphins. But this week, I'm just going Tua. And then Moss or Ayuk in the flex.
In PPR, I got to go Ayuk still. Ayuk.
Yeah.
Ayuk on 4 or 5 catches can do what Moss can do for a whole game. Right. And if he gets 6 or 7 catches, he can blow Moss out of the water.
Right. I like Moss this week, but I'm pretty much starting Ayuk full PPR. No questions asked. Pierre DeCoste. Would you drop the Dallas defense to stash one of these running backs? Algier, Keaton, Rashawn. I think he asked about Dallas defense yesterday, right? Wasn't he asking about that?
Yeah, you can drop. There's no way you want to start the Dallas defense in the fantasy playoffs. I don't care how good they've been. I don't care they helped you win weeks early in the year. It's not early in the year anymore. They play brutal offenses for a defense. I mean, just 3 of the best offenses. You don't want to start Dallas in the playoffs. I think Keaton's got to be number 1 because Algier, he's a handcuff, right? He needs something very bad that we don't want to happen. Rashawn, maybe he's a lead guy there, but Deontay Foreman got a full practice in today. Khalil Herbert's healthy. I mean, even if he's the lead, what's the lead in this backfield? Keaton Mitchell has been slowly increasing his workload. Maybe they ramp it up coming out of the bye. Plus, he's the kind of guy that doesn't need 20 touches, right? 12, 13, 14, 15 touches, and one of them could be a home run. So I think it's got to be Keaton Mitchell.
Yeah, I agree. I'm slowly coming around to Keaton Mitchell being a possible starter. He's getting more touches. So, yeah, go Keaton Mitchell, and you can definitely drop Dallas. J1364, standard, flex Rice, Warren, or London. No.
This is actually very close. Because I feel like standard scoring actually helps Drake London. And Rice, honestly. Because these aren't guys that are going to catch, you're like, well, going to catch 7 or 8 passes. They might only get like 70, 80 yards, but they're going to catch 7 or 8 passes, so it's okay. It's like, no, they might catch 4 or 5 passes, but they,
yeah, chunks of yards.
Might get 90 yards. Might get a touchdown. I mean, I'll say if Najee Harris is completely ruled out, then I probably go Warren. If not, I might go Rice. He's got the better. Well, I don't know. London's got a pretty good matchup this week too, actually.
London gets Tampa Bay secondary. It's definitely a good matchup. Yeah,
I they're at home, which Desmond Ridder not awful at home.
Yeah, less awful. Yeah, I agree. If not, he's out. I'm going Warren. But if not, it's tougher. Probably London.
Yeah, I might go London against Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Then Ron Rug in half, Rice or Puka.
I think it's still got to be Puka. I mean, unless we hear that weather is just really bad. They're like, hey, the rain's going to be dumping the whole game. It's going to be sloppy. Because I feel like Baltimore's field is one of those fields that gets sloppy. Maybe that's just my imagination. I don't know, but I feel like it is. It's one of those fields that gets sloppy. So right now I'm gonna say Puka, but if the weather is sounding really, really bad, I might just go with Rice.
Yeah, that's my thought too. it might be close either way. So, but at least none of these guys is on Thursday. So just keep Puka in there and keep an eye out for the weather. And then RB2, Warren or Rashawn.
Yeah, I'm going Warren again. Even if Rashawn is the guy, he's the guy of a three-headed committee. Maybe even if Najee plays, maybe he doesn't get as many touches as usual. So I'll just go Warren.
Yeah, Warren. Even if Najee does play, I still prefer Warren. Andrew Doherty, Schultz or Kincaid? Now, Schultz is a guy I don't know, we haven't heard from yet this week, unless you know something. Didn't play last week. So I think even if he plays, you just might as well go with Kincaid.
Yeah, I did see Schultz was limited today, but I think I go with Kincaid either way. I just feel good about Kincaid. Again, like I said, this is a must-win for the Bills against the Chiefs. They're gonna. I don't expect this to be a game where like random dudes are getting the ball or they're doing it. This is gonna be like best players get the ball, try to get this win. I think this will be a good game for Kincaid. I'm going Kincaid.
Yeah, good. Just go Kincaid. And then we got to ask Swift or Zeke.
And by the way, everybody that was panicking on Swift being questionable on a Tuesday, he practiced today, and I think he was a full practice today, so nothing to worry about there. I'm still going Swift. Zeke is more startable than he's been in probably like 3 years, but he's still not more startable than Swift.
No. Swift is good enough. You don't have to play Zeke. So it's definitely Kincaid, Swift, and then Niners or Dolphins.
I think Niners
you gotta go get Seahawks.
They're both good options this week. I mean, Dolphins at home against Will Levis and the Titans, who are terrible on the road.
Yeah.
49ers at home against the Seahawks. I don't know. I might go Dolphins.
Yeah. Definitely better matchup there. Levis hasn't been throwing a lot of interceptions, but he'll take sacks. They're not going to score many points. I think you got to go Dolphins, especially because it's at home.
Yeah.
All right, Daniel Romero, Mingo or Godwin?
Oh, fantasy football.
Yes, it is. Godwin has done nothing lately.
I'm going Mingo. I mean, what? Yeah, exactly. What is Chris Godwin? I mean, no catches last week, 3 the week before, 6 for 39 yards, 54 yards, 50. Wow, man. Yeah, just give me Mingo.
Might as well go with Mingo. Did get a lot of targets last week. I imagine they're going to try to get him the ball more just the rest of the season. So try Mingo. J.R. Fuentes is in a pickle. Needs help with T-Law. Probably out. Not for sure, but probably out. Even if he plays, you probably shouldn't. Only waiver options are Browning and Ritter.
I mean, just go Browning. He's at home against the Colts. I mean, I don't mind Ritter this week. I'll be honest. I think Ritter will at least be decent.
Wait. I mean, hold on. Hold the phone. He had another one. Now it's different. He's saying Browning, Ritter, and Minshew.
I mean, probably should be Minshew. There's still a part of me that wants to say Browning, but there's also a part of me that's like, are you just saying that because he happened to have a random good game and now it's like, oh my gosh, Jake Browning. Like it probably should be Minshew.
Yeah, it probably should be Minshew. Yeah, just go Minshew. And good luck, JR. Zach Dabney needs a flex. PPR, Zeke, Garrett Wilson, Jaden Reed, or Madison.
I'm going Jaden Reed. It's the Giants. It's PPR. He's been mostly good this year. I'm going Jaden Reed.
I really don't want part of that Jets offense, as I've been saying. Madison's no ceiling. It's either Zeke or Reed. I think if Watson is out, go Reed, but you can't know if Watson's going to be out, so just go Reed anyways. We said this earlier. I think one of the first questions was almost this very similar group of players. I feel like this is worth talking about. M dropping some comments here. What do you think about it? He's basically saying that this week is going to be like Odell's Super Bowl because he holds grudges that he's going against the Rams.
What grudge does he have against the Rams? What did the Rams do to him? They basically got him a Super Bowl ring. What grudge does he have? Like, is he mad at the SoFi turf for tearing his ACL during the Super Bowl? Like, is that what? I don't understand. What grudge does he have against the Rams?
Yeah, he should be grateful to the Rams. They actually signed him and got him a ring. Anyway.
Yeah, and got him involved. Like, what?
Rise. What's up, Rise? Got Ridley or Rice?
Yeah, it is not a good spot for Ridley this week. And saw Denzel Ward back at practice. He didn't play last week. And I think their safety, who had missed last week too. Let me see. Denzel Ward. Oh, yeah, Cam Mitchell, their safety, who was on IR, back at practice. Not a good spot for Ridley. I might just go Rice. I mean, it's not really a great spot for Rice either, but I know it feels like it should be Ridley, but man, this is not a good spot for Ridley. And if it's CJ Beathard, like, we don't even know.
And if it's not CJ Beathard, it's going to be a gimpy Trevor Lawrence who can't move around on his ankle. So it should be Beathard, and yeah, let's go Rice also. Bilal is back. 9-4, second place. Excellent. Just want to say happy holidays. Oh, and just some trash about the Dolphins. The Pats Dynasty. I love that you're already looking ahead to the next 10 years. I saw
Who even has the what's the draft order right now at the moment?
I think the Pats have like the third pick or something, but I saw a mock where it said that the Pats were going to trade up to get the number one pick so they could take Caleb Williams. I don't see that happening. Pats are not.
So right now, the Bears still have the number one pick because of the pick they got last year from the. Wow, what a trade! You got DJ Moore, and you're going to have the number one pick. Oh my gosh, what a trade!
The Panthers are basically going to be the bottom of the standings for the next 5 years, unless Bryce Young happens to get miraculously better, by next year because they hire Ben Johnson or somebody who fixes him. Anyways, let's not talk about that. Let's get this off.
Yeah, right now the Patriots are at 2. So, I mean, look, there's a chance because if the Bears decide, hey, Fields is our guy, but if they trade out of the number one pick, it's for a team that's going to take Caleb Williams. So,
true. Yeah, we'll see how that Patriots dynasty looks. Joe Castles, what's up, Joe? Likely Everett or Njoku?
I think I'm going to say likely. Let me check and remember who the Chargers play. Broncos. That is a good matchup. But, I mean, likely gets
the Rams.
That game is gross.
But
game. Still, I mean, they're not going to not throw it. He gets the Rams.
Well, I'll say in a couple leagues where I have McBride and I needed a streamer for this week, I went Everett. I'm streaming him in a couple leagues because of the matchup, because Chargers, they need to throw it to somebody besides Keenan Allen. Like, there's nobody out there who they can throw it to that's reliable. Gerald Everett's kind of getting targets because they have to throw it his way. So I still like Everett this week quite a bit. I would go him, but I can see likely being very close. The weather may be a factor though, but I was going Everett anyways.
Yeah, I mean, it is a good matchup for Everett, but man, I've been burned so many times. Not even this year, just over the years by Gerald Everett, but it is a great matchup for him.
Yeah, as long as you don't expect a big game. Gerald Everett never delivers big games, but he could score a touchdown.
I don't think any of these tight ends are going to give you a big game.
Exactly. Exactly. So you're on an even playing field here. Jesus Sosa needs a flex. Cup, Gus, Rice, or Mostert.
I miss the days where it was just Cooper Kupp, where you just said Cooper Kupp and move on, right? Half a second, you just go, oh, Cooper Kupp, come on, Cooper Kupp, and then you just move on. Miss those days. If it's PPR Cup, if it's standard, maybe even half, I might go Mostert.
We said earlier, not feeling great about Mostert this week. He's startable, but just not a high ceiling. I wonder for a second, not that I'm going to pick him because he's still probably fourth out of this group, but if it's a slop fest and it's rainy, is it a Gus game? Do they just keep it on the ground with the bus? But I'm not going to start him over like Mostert or Cup or anybody. I'm going to go Cup. I feel like this could be a Cup game, but if the weather is just absolutely horrible, I would go Rice. If it's non-PPR, then I guess go Mostert. Eric Van Vano, I think this one's easier. Ferguson or Taysom in standard?
I'm going Ferguson. It's at home. It's the Eagles. I mean, this game. Okay, we talked about like we'd be shocked if the Patriots Steelers combined for 40. I would be beyond disappointed if this game doesn't combine for at least 55. In Dallas, perfect weather because they're in a dome. Two defenses that seem like they're kind of struggling right now. Two still elite offenses. Yeah, I better get some major fireworks in this game. I'm going to be disappointed.
I'm definitely going to Ferguson here, and that's even without knowing that Taysom is banged up and questionable. And even if Taysom plays, I think you got to go Ferguson. And then Steven saying he didn't hear about that Baltimore weather thing. Well, this is the first time we're hearing. Don't check the weather usually until it's later in the week. But so in this case, let's say it is bad, raining, windy, whatever. Would you put Josh Dobbs or Lamar Jackson?
No, it would have to be like monsoon. It would have to be like, a foot of rain is going to fall or 2 feet of rain or something, plus like, sustained 30 plus mile an hour winds. Like it would have to be like, and even then I might still play Lamar because he might just run it 20 times. He might just run the ball 20 times.
He's one of those quarterbacks that might actually work to his advantage. Yeah, I'm going Lamar. I love this question. So Gabriel says the Mormon Missile needs a win. I guess that's his team name. He's looking for the win to keep his best friend out of the playoffs. That's what friends are for. Mahomes, right. Monty, Warren, Spears, JJ, hopefully. Yeah, JJ should play. Olave, Puka, Higgins, Noah Brown, Taysom. What are we thinking here?
Assume 2-2-1. So you got to go Monty and Warren. Can't play Spears with Henry. Apparently getting knocked out but not concussed, I guess, somehow. Yeah. JJ and Olave's got to be wide receivers. Obviously, I guess Taysom, the Mormon. You got to be. I mean, your team name is the Mormon Missile. You got to play Taysom. That's a must.
Yeah.
And then I'm flexing Puka unless again if we hear that the weather is just horrible, then maybe I'll pivot to Noah Brown. But I don't feel great about Noah Brown this week. I mean, against the Jets, I don't feel great about him. But if I have to, I'll play him. But I prefer Puka.
Right. Agree. Puka, unless there's something makes those guys like unstartable. Michael O in the first round, half PPR. So it looks like it's playoff time here. Brees, Zeke, Keaton Mitchell, or Warren. And then also Puka, talking about that weather, or Deontay Higgins, Elijah Moore, Reed, or somebody else.
So just one of these guys?
Running back, I'm guessing it's just one.
If Najee is completely out, I'd probably go Warren.
Yeah.
If Najee plays, I might go Zeke.
That's what I would do. You need two, then I guess it's Warren and Zeke.
Yeah.
Also, okay, so I'm assuming we're just picking a flex because he's saying Puka or one of these guys or one of the running backs.
Yeah. I mean, Puka would be my number one choice. I'll say if Joe Flacco gets the start this week, and especially if Joe Flacco gets the start and Amari Cooper is out, I might flex Elijah Moore.
Yep, I like Elijah Moore.
If not, let's say they go to Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and let's say Cooper. I mean, if they go to Dorian Thompson-Robinson, it doesn't matter if Cooper plays or not. Then I'm probably going Reed. But Puka would be my number one choice, assuming like by the end of the week, they're like, okay, it doesn't look like it's going to be nearly as bad as we thought in Baltimore. Like, it still looks okay. Hopefully
yeah, I like Elijah Moore and Jaden Reed this week. Moore, you got to be encouraged, not just because Joe Flacco was the quarterback, but also the way they were using him. Finally, I mean, maybe just because they finally had a quarterback besides Deshaun Watson, that actually can throw it down the field without just getting intercepted right away. They're actually running more vertical routes with Moore. He's not just going, 5 yards down the field and stopping. So I like Moore. I do like Moore, but I think Puka is the play unless the weather forces you to pivot. Justin Keene, Superflex, pick 2, Herbert, Stafford, Dobbs.
Right now, I'm going to say Herbert and Stafford. Again, if the weather ends up being really bad in Baltimore, like they're projecting, then I might go Herbert and Dobbs.
Agree on that. And then we got a flex 1, Javonte, D-Hop, Noah Brown, Cooks.
I'm going Cooks. It's PPR. They're at home. Give me all the Cowboys, all the Eagles this week. I literally have a team. Has to win this week. We are starting Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Jake Ferguson, and the Dallas kicker. And I actually feel pretty good about it.
Wow. That's called being all in. Yeah. But if there's a team you want to be all in on, it's the Cowboys these days, isn't it? Especially at home.
I mean, last week, those guys, I think all of them scored at least 15 fantasy points, including the kicker.
There you go. I like Brandon Cooks. I'm going to pick him as a boom this week. So he's the guy I'm definitely going to choose. I don't see any reason to move away from him. So go Cooks. And then Dallas on defense is a different story. I think you got to go Indy here.
Yeah, you got to go Indy. We talked about it. Dallas's schedule rest of the season is just brutal. Can't feel good.
All right, so there you go. Herbert, Stafford, Cooks, Indy. Jordan, what's up, Jordan Olson? Is officially safe from Waffle House. Got through the first fantasy season, didn't come in last. Hey, next year, finish first.
Yeah, exactly. Next year, I mean, minimum make the playoffs, if not win it all.
Yeah, let's just say this. Now that talking about this makes me hungry for Waffle House. I want to go get me some pecan waffle. The pecan waffle, that's the best.
I know. I wish. I'll just say getting old sucks. Leave it at that.
Brian is in the house, so I was wrong. I have to be Andrea in the 4th and game leave to get so not officially in all.
So I was gonna say, okay, I didn't want to rain on your flower parade yesterday, so I didn't say anything. But here's what's interesting about this league. First of all, let it be known, I have significantly more points than you and Andrea, but I've played, I think, the second most points against in that league, if not the most. So I'm in 7th right now. and I think you're in 5th and she's in 6th. But if I win, because I have more points than both of you, I'm in. Because you guys are playing each other. So one of you is so basically for me it's easy. Win and I'm in. Win and I'm in. Because I have the points tiebreaker. So win and I'm in. You guys need me to lose and then you're both in, or you gotta win. So yes, you still have to fight. I was like, hey, I think I'm still in it in that one. But still, you've had a fantastic year. You should be very
Which
proud.
is this? The redraft 2?
No, this is Chris.
Oh, this
1,
is your league.
Chris 1, I think it's that one. Chris 1. No, my redraft 1 team is out of it.
I keep them all straight.
I know. Maybe it is redraft 1. I can't remember. I don't remember. But I'm like the. If you look at it, like which one is it here? I'm sure all the people on the stream who want their questions answered really care about our fantasy leagues, but
right, care about theirs.
It's Chris 2. It's Chris 2, and if you look in that one, okay, I have the 4th most points against, and I have the 5th most points for. But Brian has 6th, 7th most points for, and Andrea has the 8th most points for. But they've had. But anyways, point being, maybe it's a redraft 1 rather. There's one league where I have like the most points against, and I'm like, okay, whatever. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But the point being, win and I'm in, and then Brian and Andrea have to fight it out for the final spot. Lose, and they're both in. So.
All right. So your fate is in his hands. How does that feel? Needs a QB with Kyler on bye. So here are the choices.
Well, hold on. Who do I like
in this league? Is that what it is?
Actually, it doesn't matter if he wins or loses. Like I said, I either win and I'm in, or I lose and I'm out. So it doesn't matter if he wins or loses.
All right. It's not like they're great options. It's Baker, Saints, quarterback, Geno, Ritter, Browning, AOC, or Flacco.
Yeah, and I think that's the league where I actually picked up. Yeah, I picked up Stafford.
So you might need one of these quarterbacks too, huh?
I might need a quarterback too, but I mean,
so go add one of these guys before we say yes, and then you can block him.
Who are you? I don't even know who it would be, honestly.
If it's me, I'm having to pick here. You know what? I might just go with Browning. See what he does.
Yeah, I don't know. Baker.
I'm not gonna.
I dropped. I mean, you want to play Baker, go for it. But he's been awful the last 3 games. I dropped him.
Yeah, like who? Geno against the Niners on the road? No, I'd rather take a chance on Browning against Indy. The other one I might consider is Flacco, because at least he throws the ball down the field. But I don't know about that either. Going against the Jaguars, I'll probably just go Browning.
Yeah, just go Browning, I guess.
All right, Alex Ayala. Picking someone off free agency, wide receiver is the weakest spot, especially after losing Tank. So, Hyatt, Johnston, or Parker Washington?
Probably Parker Washington, I guess, right? He's probably going to slot into that Kirk role, the slot role.
Because it's definitely not Johnston. He's had all year to prove that he could do something. He's not. It's not Johnston. Washington, because Kirk's gone pretty much for the year. Like, he's not coming back. So you're going to get this guy who's now the starter in the Jags offense the rest of the season. Hyatt is going to be one guy who's big play dependent. He might once in a while score a long touchdown, make a big play, and then he'll do nothing. And I mean nothing. So I'd take what Washington gives me. Aiden Ryder. Who's the sneakiest flex play? Parker Washington. Shaheed. I don't know if he's playing. Hyatt again. Or Noah Brown.
Well, I mean, the sneakiest play is Hyatt. The smartest play is probably Noah Brown.
Highest. I'm trying to think. Highest upside. I can even say Hyatt over Noah Brown. I think I'd go Noah Brown. I think the best pickup, if you're looking to add one, well, no, I think it's still Noah Brown. I would go Noah Brown here. All right, AV with a super chat. Dropping Madison to activate Goddard, keeping 2 Ds instead, starting Brees and Keaton, Connor and B-Rob on bye. What do you think? Is Madison droppable in this situation?
I mean, I guess. What's the upside for Madison at this point?
That's what he's saying. Keaton is getting more upside. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And Brees has been terrible, but I'm not going to drop Brees instead of Madison. Yeah. That's fine. Roll out Keaton this week. See if something happens. At least after this week, you can just go Connor. Well, at least Connor rest of the season. B-Rob, who knows with that hamstring? We'll see. Wang, full PPR. Start 1 QB, 3 running backs, 2 receivers, 1 TE. Barkley, Bijan, Kyron Swift. All right. Cup, Pittman, AJB. And then tight end, it's either likely Everett or Schultz. And then quarterback, it's Herbert or Mayfield.
Well, I'm definitely going Herbert at QB.
Yes, definitely Herbert.
3 running backs, Barkley, Bijan, and Kyron. Yeah, I'll bench Swift this week against the Cowboys. That's fine. 2 wide receivers. I'm going Pittman and AJ Brown. Tight end. I'll say if Schultz is good to go, I'm going to go Schultz. Jets aren't a terrible matchup. They lost Tank Dell. They're probably going to need him more. If he's limited or isn't playing, then I guess I'll go Everett. Get the Herbert-Everett stack.
Yeah, earlier I said I'd prefer Everett to likely, but if Schultz plays, he's the guy. This is interesting. He played 3 running backs and 2 receivers, but no flex. So running back heavy league. Barkley, Bijan, and Kyron. So I guess you have to sit Swift. Pittman, AJB, definitely, and definitely Herbert, for sure. All right, Trigger Trey says, know that they're in tough matchups, but Kincaid or Ingram?
Gotta go Kincaid. Yeah, not a good spot for Ingram, plus probably backup QB, so we don't know what's going to happen there. Kincaid's got Josh Allen, the Bills, must win. Going Kincaid.
Yeah, definitely going Kincaid here. Doesn't sound like Trevor Lawrence is going to play, but even so, I think I would still go Kincaid. All right. Mastermind wants to know. There's a little back and forth here after that. I think someone was like, really? I understand it. I understand the logic behind this. I'm definitely going Eckler, but what do you think? Is there a debate between Austin Eckler or Keaton Mitchell?
I mean, not for me. Maybe after this week there will be, but this week I'm giving Eckler another shot. I mean, remember, I know it's easy to look at Eckler, right? We all saw that run where he bounced it to the outside and looked like he was dragging a trailer behind him against the Packers, right? We've all seen it. But he just played the Ravens and the Patriots, 2 very good run defenses. He gets the Broncos this week. If he doesn't come through this week against the Broncos, yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah. We can start having this discussion. But this week against the Broncos, I'm giving him another shot.
Because another reason we keep saying you can't be out on Eckler. Remember, he doesn't really make his day, fantasy especially, from running the ball. It's as a pass catcher. It's as a goal line threat. He can still catch several passes. So I'm definitely going Eckler. Anthony Romsberg, full PPR, pick 2 receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex. Also needs to win at 8-5. Mike Evans, Puka, Devontae Smith, DK Pollard, Pacheco, Moss.
2 wide receivers are going to be Evans and Devonta Smith. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Running back's tough. Am I benching Pollard against that Eagles running defense? After I just said I want all the Cowboys, maybe I want all the Cowboys passing game options.
Right, passing game.
and kicker and kicking option.
But not defense.
Not defense, and I don't know if I want the running game.
I did see Pacheco pop up as questionable. Again, it's midweek. We're not too concerned yet. Just throwing that out there.
I might go Moss and Pacheco right now. Not feeling a big Pollard game.
And then, yeah, I agree. It's got to be Evans, and then Smith is the 2. Moss, Pacheco, then flex. Who are you going to flex? Puka?
Well, you know what? I might just flex Pollard. Actually,
over Puka?
Yeah. And over DK. I know it's probably hard to bend. Like if you want to chase last week with DK, go for it. I get it. It's hard to see a guy go off for that many points and then not start him the next week, but it is on the road against San Francisco, so it could be a letdown. If it's me, I'm probably going Pollard in the flex, actually.
Yeah, I think it's fine to go Pollard. Still has touchdown upside. Well, there you go. Needs to win. Good luck. And then we got Pedro again. Just saying that week 14 is the playoffs. No buys.
Yeah,
starting early.
I actually don't mind that, especially in a 10-team league. Just take the 4 best teams. You take out a little bit of the variance by having a 2-week playoff, right? Like if somebody has a guy like last week, if somebody had one of the teams had DK Metcalf, it's like, okay, I lost because I just happened to face, the team who had DK Metcalf this week, and his one monster game of the year happened to be this week. But it takes a little variance out for guys like that, so I don't mind it in a 10-teamer.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Don't need to have buys in fantasy. Guys don't need to rest. Daniel Chavez needs help with the lineup. 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a tight end, and a flex. Here are the running backs: Ford, Brees, Gibbs, Spears, and Charbonnet. Wide receivers: JJ, DJ Moore, Deontay, Reed, and Amari. Tight end: Ferguson, Ingram. If Henry doesn't play, well, it sounds like Henry's playing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. At running back, I'm going Gibbs. I guess Brees. I mean, I will say if all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, just kidding, he is in the concussion protocol, then yeah, I will play Spears over Brees. But as of now, I guess Gibbs and Brees. At wide receiver, Jefferson, DJ Moore for sure. At flex, I'm probably going Jaden Reed. And then at tight end, I'm definitely going Ferguson over Ingram.
Yeah, definitely Ferguson over Ingram. Yeah, I agree with all that. Brees and Gibbs, JJ, DJ Moore, Ferguson, Reed. Yeah, it sounds like Henry's playing though. But keep Spears on standby because you never know. Adrian, what's up, Adrian? Adrian Baca. Have to drop Hal or Kyler. It's a 14-team league.
Hal.
Oh, because of buys?
You drop Hal. I mean, keep talking about it. After the bye, he goes on the road against the Rams. Okay, that's not terrible. But then he goes on the road against the Jets. Then at home against the 49ers. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, he's saying, don't want to drop one of these guys. But if you're only starting one quarterback, and you're not going to play Howell the rest of the season anyways. And it might be that thing where, who was it? Who was saying, like, you drop somebody so that somebody can pick them up and play them?
Maybe your opponent rolls out Howell against you against the Jets on the road against the Jets.
There you go. You could drop Howell. For this week, who are the choices? Browning, Ritter, Flacco.
I guess Browning at home against Colts. I guess.
Why not? Roll them out. See what happens. Made for meditation. Olave or Jaden Reed?
Got to be Olave. Got to be Olave.
Yes, got to be Olave. Like Jaden Reed, but he's not Olave. Yeah. And then Kincaid or Laporta?
It's got to be Laporta. He's been so good. Like Laporta just in. If I have Laporta, I don't even think about a tight end position. Not even a thought.
Yeah, those are. I mean, that's closer because they're both good options this week, but I think it's got to be Laporta too. And then King Flores 150, Love or Dobbs?
Love, definitely Love. He's been better. He gets the Giants. Give me Love.
Definitely Love here. This for a revenge game narrative didn't even dawn on me because I sometimes forget that Juju Smith-Schuster is still in the league. Juju revenge game against the Steelers, 200 yards. No? You take the higher?
200 yards. Would that like double his season total? More than double his season total? How many yards does he have this year?
I don't even know if he has 200 this whole season, does he?
That's what I'm saying. Like, would that double his season total? He's 170 this year, so it would more than double his season total.
That's amazing. Maybe you're saying, that's what he's saying. He's saying he's going to hit the 200-yard mark.
This is
there. It is.
I think that. Well, look. I mean, 30 yards. That might be his best game of the year. 30 yards.
Probably.
Okay, he had 33 yards in week 1 and 51 yards in whatever week that is. I don't know.
Because they played Washington.
It would be his third biggest game of the year.
If you want to sign him how bad Washington's secondary has been, they let Juju get 51 yards. That's how bad Washington's secondary is.
Yeah. There's been plenty of busts this year, right? There always are plenty of busts. But people actually drafted Juju Smith-Schuster in their fantasy drafts. And he's literally been there's not been 1 week where you could start him. Not a single week. At least guys like Calvin Ridley or who else have been busts. Like, they've had good weeks. Like, Juju Smith-Schuster was just like, when it came your time to pick and you click Juju Smith-Schuster, you might have just told your whole league, like, hey, guys, I'm just skipping this one. I'm skipping this round. I'll pick next round, but this round I'm just going to skip. I'm not even going to make a pick. Like, that's how bad Juju has been.
Yep. That's impressive.
Even the week he scored, I just saw it. The week he scored, 1 catch for 3 yards. So he still wasn't even startable. He still wasn't even 7 fantasy points the week he scored. Oh my goodness.
Just brings me a little bit of pleasure that this team it's the Patriots. Seeing the Patriots, kind of suffer at the bottom brings a little joy to my heart. Not gonna lie. All right, let's go to Matt. Starting Josh Allen, but looking to stash a QB. But why? Have Murray, but Dobbs is available. Drop Murray and pick up. No.
I wouldn't stash Dobbs over Murray. I would stash Murray over Dobbs. You already have Murray, just hold him.
Yeah, I mean, I get having a backup quarterback in case Allen goes down, but it would be Murray over Dobbs for sure. I mean, you're starting Josh Allen this week, so it doesn't matter that Murray has a bye. All right, Ethan Struby in full PPR in the playoffs. Very nice. Here's the roster. Tua, Lamb, Pittman, Hall, Warren, Kincaid, DJ Moore, Miami defense, Jason Sanders. On the bench is Ford, Herbert, Higgins, Mayfield, OBJ. Thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think I'm switching anything. Yeah, I'm not switching anything. I'm not playing Ford or Herbert over Warren, probably.
No.
Not playing Higgins.
Can't play Higgins.
Even with the Browning miracle game, Higgins still did hardly anything. Yep. Nope.
No, your starting lineup is totally good. Bench, not so much. I would just say you could probably drop Mayfield, try to get some sort of a running back who has upside or is like a handcuff or something. Yeah. Don't love the bench, but hopefully you don't need them. Cynthia Resch has a question. Warren or Mitchell? This
If
comes down to
Najee is
Najee.
completely out, I'll go Warren, but otherwise I might go Mitchell. This is not a good matchup for the Steelers running game. Yeah. If Najee's out, of going Warren. Otherwise, I might just gamble on Mitchell.
Yeah, I'm okay with that because Patriots do have a good defense. Like you said, just can't expect a lot of points in this game. So if keep an eye on Najee, or if Najee is going to be limited, you feel like he's not going to get that many touches, you can go Warren. If not, take a shot for Mitchell. All right, Edgar Padilla has the super chat, wants to say that it's a standard league. Rice over Nico?
No, I can't do that. In any format, standard, half, full. I know it's Sauce Gardner. I know it's the Jets, but I mean, Rashee Rice, you're really banking on him having to score. He's not a guy that's heavily involved. So, and even last week, what did we see last week? After his routes and everything went up, they went back. I mean, they still were pretty good, but they went back down a little bit again. So he's just not a guy. Like, it just doesn't seem like this year he's going to be like, out there running a route 80-90% of the time like Nico is. So I'm going Nico.
Yeah, not going Rice over Nico. Because even in a bad matchup, Nico's not going to be shadowed all game by Sauce or anything. He can still have himself a decent game. So, yeah, got to be Nico. All right, Steven saying that he assumed if Najee goes, he should play Pickens over Warren. Okay, so let's look at the other side of the coin. If Najee's fine. By the way, I'm a Bengals fan, and my playoff depended on a bunch of Steelers and Ravens. Well, that's what I thought was funny, because you had a bunch of Steelers, but you also had Ravens, and it just so happens those are like your two least favorite teams.
Oh, fantasy football. I know. Like, I got a team that has to win this week, and it's all Cowboys. It's like, I need all Cowboys.
That must be painful, but it feels good when those guys are ripping off huge games. You're like, you don't care about your fandom.
Exactly. I don't know. I mean, could I play like Pickens? You're just hoping for a big touchdown. Deontay, you're just hoping for a touchdown. Just a touchdown like we got last week. Just please somehow score a touchdown. I mean, I guess that's kind of what you're hoping for from Warren too, right? Like,
well, Warren, at least, he's getting some chunks of yards on the ground, and he's a guy who will catch some passes. I think I would still go Warren over Pickens, because New England defense, they don't give up big plays to wide receivers, not typically.
Yeah, probably still got to go Warren. I mean, you're just really, like I said, you're hoping for a big Pickens touchdown, or I guess just Deontay just scoring it all. So, yeah.
And the last couple of weeks specifically, the Patriots haven't been shutting out opposing passing games and receivers necessarily, but they're not giving up those big games, like I said. And they have gotten better over the last couple of weeks, just not throwing the ball because they know it's going to result in an interception. So it's just a slow grind out type of game. Bailey Zappi, I don't even think, maybe I'm wrong, did he even get intercepted last week? I don't think he threw it enough to try to get intercepted. I think they're just keeping everything so close to the line of scrimmage and playing so slow and conservatively, which is why they didn't score any points, but it's also they didn't let the opponent score any points.
Right.
They're trying to basically bore the other team to sleep, and hopefully that they get like a trick play for a touchdown or a defensive touchdown or win a field goal fest. That's what they're trying to do. Bill Belichick wants to play so he can try to win a 6-3 game. That's what he's going to try to do. You remember, was it a couple of years ago? Remember when they only
against
threw
the Bills in that win game?
Yeah. I could see that
like
happening. I could see them attempting 9 passes all game. Anyways, this was a way of me saying I would still go Warren over Pickens, I think. Max Leitner. Must-win matchup this week. Thanks for the help. You're welcome. 12-team full PPR, 1 flex league, needs a running back, tight end, and a flex between Swift, Moss, Watson, Deontay, Muth, and Likely. Wow.
One running backs. Going Moss over Swift. It's like the matchup better. Going to get all the touches. Going Moss. I'm going Likely at tight end. It's a good matchup for him against the Rams. Like if the weather's bad, maybe more short passes. I don't know, but I'm just not feeling Freiermuth. And then at flex, I'll say Watson if he plays. And if they're not saying he's going to be severely limited or anything like that. Otherwise, I'll flex Swift.
After my unnecessarily long rant about the Steelers-Patriots game, I don't think I'm going to put Deontay or Muth in there. I like Moss, picking him for a big game. I would like to say I could flex Watson. Let's see if he plays. If Watson doesn't play, I'll flex Swift. And at tight end, yeah, it's going to be Likely. Doug Fenton lost Tank, Stevenson, and Kirk. The good news is you got CMC. Gus. Okay, yeah, CMC, Gus. Put all together, Aaron Jones and Rashawn. Was able to pick up Pierce and Spears. Who should I pair with CMC? So I guess out of all those running backs, is it Gus? I don't even know if Aaron Jones is playing. Is it Rashawn, Pierce, or Spears?
Am I just playing Gus and hoping?
Even if Aaron Jones, they say, oh, he's active, he's going to play. You're not going to play him. I doubt it, right?
No. Too much risk. He gets like 5 touches, plays like 30% of the snaps, does nothing. Rashawn would be interesting if Foreman was out, but Foreman full practice today, so you're going to look at some 3-headed monster there. I mean, I know there's like a 3-headed monster kind of in Baltimore too, but like if the weather's bad, maybe like you said, they just run the ball. Gus can score. I'd probably go Gus out of these.
Because if anything, that weather situation, they're still going to play the game. They still have to,
right.
They still have to run plays, and somebody has to score in order for the game to finish. Gus should maybe get more carries if it's that type of game. I'm not saying I'm not predicting a big Gus game, but I think he's going to be playable at least. So it would be Gus. And then, would you drop Muth for Likely?
I mean, if you need somebody this week, yeah.
Says he has Ingram.
I'd probably just play Ingram over both of them, honestly.
Yeah. I would play Ingram.
I'll say this about Freiermuth.
Huh?
I'll say this about Freiermuth because I was looking today because in my home league, it's a 10-teamer, only 4 teams make it. I'm in, so I'm looking at week 16 and 17. Freiermuth gets the Bengals again in week 16. So maybe you don't want to drop Freiermuth just yet.
And by then, maybe Kenny Pickett's back, firing, more targets his way. Yeah, I don't think I would drop Muth for Likely because Likely, to me, doesn't just have that ceiling. So, just go with Ingram and just hold on to Muth. O.J. Kaminsky. When to get in Zeke or Hall?
I cannot believe I'm saying Zeke, but it's Zeke. I mean, now Breece Hall limited with an ankle injury. Last week it was a hamstring. Now it's an ankle. What? I can't with Breece Hall anymore. Like, maybe this is the week. Maybe Zach Wilson was all Breece Hall needed to be unlocked. I don't know. Probably not. But, you want to put Breece Hall out there for another whatever game again? I'm going Zeke.
I'm going Zeke. You know what I hope? Really, I'm waiting for the Jets to get mathematically eliminated from the playoffs so they can just say, look, we're just going to sit Breece Hall, just keep him healthy, preserve him for next year, and then we can actually see Izzy, right? Maybe they'll actually give Izzy some run.
That doesn't even make sense. They're not mathematically eliminated yet?
Well, it's too early. Nobody's mathematically eliminated except for Carolina. I don't think anybody else is.
Like what? Like how many games are 6 games? I guess they could technically finish 10-8 if they somehow win every game.
Technically, yes. But go Zeke here. Kincaid or Ingram? We're just saying Kincaid.
Yeah, gotta be Kincaid. Tough spot for Ingram. Gotta be Kincaid.
And then flex spot. Rice, Hopkins, London, Reed, or Keaton Mitchell? Just one.
Ooh. I might go London here. It's at home. It's the Bucs secondary. Ritter's actually okay at home. I think I'm going London. I'm going London.
Yeah, I think it's between London and Reed. I feel like we had this dilemma earlier. You said, I mean, Leif Watson is out. You could play Reed, but London still has just as much upside. So I think for right now, just keep London in there. Bobby Walsh. Already has Diggs and Lamb, Kyron and Robinson. But for 2 flexes, you got Achane, Chase, Barkley, and Pittman. I thought this was going to be easy because I was just going to say you have to start Achane, and now I don't know. Okay, so we have to pick 2.
How do you bench these guys? You know, am I going to bench Bijan Robinson for one? I mean, it is Tampa Bay. It's not a great spot for Bijan this week.
For Barkley? Yeah.
Barkley against the Packers? He should have a great game.
This doesn't say if it's full PPR. That might make a difference on who you flex. Because if it's standard, then I think I have to flex Achane. If it's PPR, I think I have to put Chase. I'm okay.
Yeah,
I actually thought about that too. I'm okay benching Robinson with these guys.
Yeah, I might go Kyron and Barkley, Achane at the flex with Chase.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks having to bench Pittman and Bijan Robinson, but like,
yep, I think so too. Yeah, but Barkley in there, flex. I think you got to put Chase. I really want to put Pittman too, but can't ever say no to Achane ever again. Bear Camp, Cabin Rentals. Welcome back.
What's up?
Pick one in non-PPR. Dobbs, Ritter, Aiden O'Connell, Baker Mayfield, or Gardner Minshew.
I mean, probably should be Minshew. Maybe Dobbs, because he does get the Raiders and he runs a little, but probably should be Minshew against the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm not starting Ritter unless I absolutely have to. AOC, just not enough of a ceiling. So I feel like Dobbs does have maybe the highest ceiling here, but Minshew's clearly the safer pick. So the good thing with Minshew is he will scramble, and near the goal line, he will run it sometimes too. So probably just go Minshew. And then Monty or Rachaad White. Again, non-PPR. Does that give the edge to Monty? But Rachaad White's the bell cow.
I mean, they are playing the Bears.
Revenge game part 2.
In non-PPR, I might go Monty.
The Bucs get
Falcons.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, that one's close, but I think in non-PPR, Monty does get the edge. Blair Davis. What's up, Blair? Full PPR, Chuba or Zeke? Well, this one's a little tougher.
Panthers play Saints. It's not bad, actually. Saints haven't been very good against the run lately for some reason, but look, I'll say in half PPR, I have both these guys. I'm playing Zeke. I mean, granted, it's a meaningless game for me. Like, it's not gonna change my seeding or anything. But I'm going Zeke. He gets the Steelers. He's gonna get all the touches. He'll catch some dump offs. That's the thing. Chuba, we think of Chuba as like a good pass catcher. He hardly catches any passes. They don't really dump it off much.
Which you think in that offense that they should, like a lot more than they do.
Right. Like he had no catches last week. He did have 5 the week before, but like 2-2, 4-2, 1-1, 2-2. Like, yeah, it's just I don't know. I'm going Zeke, but it is close. It is close.
I think based on the matchup, got to give the edge to Zeke just because you can't feel as good about Chuba this week. So go Zeke and then Deontay or Lockett. Can't feel great about either of those.
Oh man. But at least Lockett feels like he has some upside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel great about either, but at least Lockett feels like he has some upside. I mean, Deontay, what Lockett.
Yeah. I would say Lockett. So Zeke and Lockett. So reading this one, this is what happening. Saying I think somebody hit his truck while he was listening just now on the way home. That's
oh man.
That's the worst.
You think somebody hit your truck? Oh, someone hit your truck. Oh man.
Yeah, it said hop and hit. So yeah. Been there. I mean, I don't have a truck, but yeah, been there. That's not a good feeling. Hope everything's good for you. So now I feel like we need to answer this question. Have 1 seed locked in 2 leagues. Oh, that's good news. Playoff start week 15, no bye. So he's asking, what does it better do? Get some insurance on your bench or blocking? Like block somebody else?
Well, it's hard to block somebody. Like, I mean, how are you going to block somebody in week 15? Like, what are you going to block them from?
Yeah.
There's no bye. So it's not like, hey, my opponent, his QB's on bye. Let me go grab all the QBs or whatever, right? Like what are you blocking in week 15?
Maybe I think maybe it means like if there's let's say there's a really hot pickup, like somebody, I don't know, like some running back.
Well,
comes out like, oh, this guy looks like he might be valuable. You know, you're like, oh, I already have 4 good running backs. I'm never going to play this guy, but I'll grab him so someone else doesn't. Or is it like, well, let me just get Eli Mitchell since I have CMC, or let me get, Josh Kelly because I have Austin Eckler. Like, what would you rather do?
No, I'd rather get the hot pickup who's already has a path. I picked up Zeke and Chuba in my home league. I don't need Zeke or Chuba. Like I have, well, maybe I do if JT doesn't come back, but like I have Rashad White, Kyron Williams, James Conner, Jonathan Taylor if he ever comes back. Like I might not even play those guys in the fantasy playoffs, but I don't want other people playing them, so I'm grabbing them.
Right.
Yeah. And look, if something happens, right? If you grab a guy like that, and something happens to your running back, you can always pivot to one of those guys. So I'm going to go with the blocker, I guess, in this case.
Yeah, unless it's a league where I'm out of the playoffs. If I happen to be eliminated, no, I won't do that. I won't go out and spend up fab to try to stop somebody because there's no point. But as long as I'm still in it, yeah, I'm going to try to grab all the best waiver wire pickups if I can. It doesn't matter if you think you're going to use them or not, because you never know. You really don't know. So ideally, you have a balance of both, but you want to get a guy who's usable over one who's not usable. All right, Juice 420. Now, worried enough about Stafford, would you pick up famous Jameis?
I'd probably wait and see. I don't think anybody's rushing out to pick up Jameis. Look, Derek Carr was limited in practice today, and they said he was throwing the ball great. It might not even be Jameis Winston. We might get it stuck with another week at Derek Carr. Like this guy, Derek Carr is like that insect that I won't name because I don't want to be too insulting, who you just can't get rid of. I think you all know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, I don't even know if Winston's going to be the starter this week. You just hold Stafford for now. See how the week goes.
Yeah, weather can change in the course of 5 days. So just hold Stafford for now. Vigito or Vigito, sorry. Full PPR, Reed or Pollard?
I still got to go Pollard. He's a starting running back on a great offense. He scored touchdowns in 3 straight games. He catches some passes. I still got to go Pollard over Jaden Reed.
Yeah, Pollard definitely gets the floor here. He's still a solid play. It's not a great week for him, but he's been better. He's got touchdown upside. This one is pretty close, but I think you got to feel better about Pollard's touches. All right, let's do a couple of these as we catch up here, the regular chats. Just saying, Stroud or Love?
I think you got to go Love this week. I know it's hard not to play Stroud, but on the road against the Jets, I'm just going to take Love.
This is the 1 week, even though Love has a great schedule down the stretch, you're going to start Stroud pretty much every week, except this week. Yeah, I think you can not risk just not getting a big point total here. And then Luminous Grin. Already said with Hill, Lamb, and Ferguson at the flex. Pittman or Cooks?
I mean, I know I said I want all the Cowboys, but I would happily start Michael Pittman over Brandon Cooks this week if I could. Like, if somebody was like, "Hey, I'll give you Michael Pittman if you give me Brandon Cooks," I'd be like, "Done. Give me Michael Pittman. Thank you very much. Go on Pittman."
Yeah, I like Cooks as a flex, but if Pittman is a flex on your team, then it's Pittman because Pittman's usually a wide receiver too. Rodney Alvarez needs 2. Thielen, Noah Brown, Rice, and Garrett Wilson.
Rice and Noah Brown, I guess.
It's not Thielen. Not anymore.
I might go Rice and Garrett Wilson this week. At least with Zach Wilson, he was halfway decent. It's not a terrible matchup against Houston. Noah Brown against the Jets, that's not great. I might go Rice and Garrett Wilson, honestly.
Brown is going to be your boom bust type pick, right? It's probably going to be one or the other, no in between. If we don't feel great about Stroud, we can't feel great about Brown. He's your dart throw. I think you're fine with Wilson if you want to just take what you get. He'll probably give you a few points for sure. Noah Brown, I can't be sure he gets you much of anything. But Noah Brown could also wind up with a big play because remember, that's what he's done this year. He's averaging, I think, 21 yards per catch, like something insane. So he's getting big plays. But it's the Jets. So if you want to play it safe, go Rice and Wilson. If you need or just want upside, want some excitement in your lineup, go Noah Brown. Speaking of excitement, Boomer looking through the Thursday game, Pats and Steelers was going to take all the lowers on those picks, but everything is not surprisingly very low.
156.
Zappy 156. Would you go lower on that?
That is pretty. I mean, man, what did he? That is pretty. That might be the lowest I've ever seen. What did he? 156. He only had 141 last week, maybe against the Chargers at home, maybe.
Exactly. And now he's going on the road against Pittsburgh. I think I would take the lower.
Oh my!
And Demario Douglas is not playing, and Ramondre is not playing.
Yeah,
I'll go lower. What else do we like? You want to pull it up? You know what? It's been too long. We haven't mentioned this. So look, talking about the Thursday game. First of all, yeah, Najee is questionable, but if he plays, as of right now, and look, maybe the switches, but right now you get the special, and if Najee plays, you're new to underdog, you get the higher on him going for just 1 yard. That's it, 1 yard. So again, if you haven't tried underdog, check it out. Use promo code ENDGAME. You get a deposit match, also 100% up to $100. So you already double your money just for making an account, and then you get this free pick, assuming Najee plays, and then you can pair with any other pick, and you can triple your entry. So if you're going to pair the Najee 1 yard, would it be with the Bailey Zappi lower? It just might be. What else do we got here?
It just might be. I kind of like Zeke higher than 2.5 receptions.
Ooh, I like that because he doesn't even have to have a big game. He just needs to catch 3 dump offs, basically.
Right.
And he got 4 last week.
Yep.
All right. I'm never going to put money on Devontae Parker higher or lower. What else? Kickers, no thanks. Defense? Maybe defense here.
Yeah, I don't know enough about defense. I don't I don't ever look at it. Maybe I should probably do that. What is Trubisky at? 180.5?
Trubisky. You'd think, well, Trubisky can have some yardage, but it's the Patriots. It's also not a great spot necessarily for him. Do they have a scorcher on interceptions? No, I guess not.
No. How about Deontay Johnson? 42.5 receiving yards. George Pickens, 38.5. I don't even think I would take the higher on those guys.
That's the thing. And I will say this, obviously we're all trying to forecast the future here. There's no tried and true method to know for sure. But I do find that sometimes you feel better about a lower. It tends to hold true more because the higher you're going optimistic and hoping for something to go right. Where for the lower, you just have to hope for something to not happen.
Oh, that's right. You can't even pair. Well, I guess if you have the Najee Harris one, you could.
Right. You should be able to.
Because you have to have, that's the thing, you have to have a pick from two different teams. But if you have the Najee Harris one, I think this is what I would do if I had the Najee Harris pick. I would do lower Bailey Zappi, higher Zeke, 2.5 receptions. I would take the free money underdog gives me, and I would potentially 3x it on this one right here. 3x it. You add the Najee one, you'll get the 3x. And really, the thing is, you only have to be right on these two picks, right? Because you're going to be right on the Najee one. Assuming
True. Now, actually, okay, so he asked, Boomer asked specifically about the Thursday games, but here's another thing: if you really don't know, you just don't feel great about these games, you actually don't even have to pick from those games. Of course, you can combine it with picks from Sunday. You can combine it. You don't want to wait. You can do an NBA game, right? There you go. You're like, okay, well, I'm a Steelers fan. I like Najee Harris. I want to go higher than half a yard, or maybe not. Or maybe you're okay. I get the Najee Harris free pick. I'm a Patriots fan, and I'm going to go higher on Zeke. I'm going to go higher on Bailey Zappi because I'm feeling good. And I happen to also be a Boston Celtics fan. I'm going to find the Celtics game. I'm going to go for Jason Tatum getting a double-double or whatever they have going on. So there's so many different options. That's the great thing about it. So there you go. All right. That's what we got. It's just really not. There's not even that many players listed for the Thursday game because they're just not anybody fantasy relevant. All right. Arvin, Angeles. Rashee Rice or Noah Brown?
I'm going to go Rice. I just feel a little safer about Rice against the Bills than I do about Noah Brown against the Jets. I'm going to go Rice.
Yeah, I was just saying, Noah Brown gets some excitement into your lineup, but Rashee Rice should get you some sure points. So I don't know if this is a big Rice week, but I know he should get you some points at least. Drone Force, Komet or Likely?
I think I got to go Komet. He's got Justin Fields, that Bears offense. Lions haven't been great against tight ends. I'm going Komet. I think he has more upside.
Yeah, Likely doesn't really inspire me too much. He hasn't for a while. Komet could score a touchdown. Komet could get some targets. And especially if the weather happens to be bad for Baltimore, that just pushes me even more towards Komet. And then asking how confident you are in Swift. I guess there's an article saying that the Eagles plan to run the ball more. I mean, it's easy to say, but hard to do.
I don't know if it was an article, but apparently some people were camped outside the NovaCare complex this morning with signs that said, run the damn ball. And Nick Sirianni got him coffee, gave him coffee or whatever. But I don't think, look, like Mike Tyson once said, everybody has a game plan until they get punched in the mouth. You could go into this game saying, yeah, we need to run the ball more. But when Dallas is out there scoring touchdowns every time they have the ball because your secondary can't stop them, you're not going to be running the ball. So I'm not going to read too much into that.
Yeah, I'm going to say I'm still going to plan on Swift getting his typical workload, which has been good unless they're losing, which they could be in this game. So I'm so confident enough that I'll start Swift, but he's not a must start. Julio, taking 2 L's in a row, got a lot of points left on the bench. Oh man, well, that does happen. I think he has Christian Watson, doesn't he? Maybe he left Watson on the bench, which is totally understandable. Ramondre is out now. I know you had Ramondre, you can drop him. Pollard Achan. I don't know if there's supposed to be more to this.
Yeah, is there more?
Oh, here we go. Different comment. Here it is. Pollard, Gibbs, Achan, Puka, Sutton. Pick 2 RBs and a flex.
Achan, Pollard, I guess, but I mean, you could be leaving Gibbs points on the bench. I mean, Pollard, Achan. I think I have to flex Sutton this week against the Chargers. Dude can't stop scoring touchdowns. Puka might be in terrible weather. Gibbs might not get the game script again. I think if it's me, I'm going Pollard, Achan, Sutton.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to leave Achan on the bench again. Pollard is the other running back, and Sutton. Now that we're worried about Puka a little bit more, yeah, I think so. Browns versus Jacksonville without T-Law. Yeah, Browns are fine.
Yeah, you should be. Browns at home. Yeah, you should feel good about that.
Yeah. Chocolate Rain. Herbert or Love?
I still got to go Herbert at home against the Broncos again. If Herbert doesn't have a good game this week, then maybe we can start talking about Love over Herbert. But I think this week, I still got to go Herbert.
Yeah, I'm pretty much just not benching Herbert. And I have a lot of Herbert. Trust me. I have him in like half my leagues, which is great and amazing the first half of the season. He slowed down a little bit. Just definitely slowing down. But I'm still starting Herbert as much as I like Jordan Love the rest of the season. I'm not benching Herbert. And then Peter Zhao. Deontay, Addison, Downs, or Noah Brown. Needs upside. Well, upside with how much risk? I don't know. Deontay can't have that much upside, can he?
No, I think I still got to go Josh Downs here. I know he's been disappointing the last 2 games, but I mean, how good can we feel about Noah Brown against the Jets? How good can we feel about Deontay? Addison hasn't even been getting it done with Dobbs without Justin Jefferson. Now with Jefferson back, I think it was me. I'm still going Josh Downs again.
Yeah, if you need upside, like I said, Deontay doesn't really have it. I don't think Addison has enough. Noah Brown is upside. He also has a lot of risk. So Downs probably has a little bit less. Downs does have some upside. So I'm okay with Downs. Either Downs or Brown, I think. What about this? Bobby Walsh, who had super chat earlier. He has to choose between Bijan or Chase at the flex.
I think you got to go Chase. I'm not expecting like what we saw last week. Obviously had that huge touchdown, but also, I mean, I'm not sure Jake Browning could do that again. But it is kind of a tough matchup for Bijan this week. I think you got to go Chase.
Yeah, well, I'll say not to chase last week's point totals, but at least now we can see Jake Browning is more than capable of getting the ball to him. There's a lot less worry about Chase. I think you got to start Chase here. All right, Mr. J School 30, PPR win, and he's in. All right, let's do it. Love, Tua, Hall, Monty, Sun God, Puka, Laporta, Waddle. Bench is Hill, Watson, Keaton, Mitchell. So is this a 2 QB league? Must be.
Yeah. If Watson is fully practicing, which I don't expect, and they're like, nah, he's good, I'll play him over Puka.
Yeah.
I'm also debating Keaton Mitchell over Breece Hall.
Yeah, that's the thing. Breece Hall might not be startable. What was he, out today or limited?
He was limited with an ankle, but look, this dude needs to be like. First of all, he's not gonna. This is what we said in the whole offseason with these ACL guys. They're probably not going to get up to 100% this entire year. So they need to be 100% of the 80% that they are, or the 85% that they are. They need to be 100% of that. If they're 60% of the 80% they're at, that's a. I don't know the math. But that's not a good percentage.
No.
So it's not a good percentage. Last week he was missing, like was limited with a hamstring. Now it's an ankle. I mean, you don't have to be like an injury report guy to just watch Breece Hall and know he's not the same guy. He's not the same. He just isn't. Not even close. You can blame the offense. You can blame the offensive line, but come on, he's not. He's not even close. So, but I mean, at the same time, it's Keaton Mitchell. At least Hall catches, like 5, 6, 7 cheapy little dump offs. Man. Breece. I guess right now I'll leave Breece, but man, that is one I would be debating all week. I'd be going like Hall, Mitchell, Hall all week, honestly.
Yeah, I also think, with the weather, you say, okay, well, rain, that favors the running game, but does it favor for a guy like Keaton Mitchell, who, relies more on his speed and the cuts? And I don't know. I don't think it's good for the offense in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll probably leave it the way it is, but I agree. If Watson is a full go, I might play Watson over Puka. All right, good luck. And then also need to send good vibes to Chris Laborde. He is putting his faith in Joshua Dobbs to make the playoffs. Win, and he's in. Lose, and he's out. Is that crazy?
Whew. Good luck. I mean, hey, maybe he'll rush in a touchdown or something.
Well, I will say this. It's a good matchup against the Raiders, and he gets Justin Jefferson. So week off, maybe clear his head, get more reps in. Hey, one thing we always have to respect with Christopher Laborde, he's a man of conviction. He feels it. He goes with his gut. He's not afraid to take risks. All right, Julio. Schultz or Njoku?
I think you got to go Schultz if he plays. It's not a terrible matchup for him against the Jets. They're going to need him, right? With no Tank. So I think if Schultz plays, you go Schultz.
Yeah, assuming Schultz is healthy and all good, I think it's got to be Schultz. OJ Kaminsky, another win to get in. Herbert or Goff?
I'm still going Herbert. It's not a great spot for Goff on the road against the Bears. I got to trust Herbert at home this week. I'm going Herbert.
Yeah, I already said if I have Herbert, I'm pretty much just starting him. And then London, Gabe, Lockett, Reed, and Rice. Need 2.
I think I'm going London.
Lockett.
I don't know. I'm between Reed or Rice. I mean, sure, Lockett could boom, Gabe could boom, but these aren't matchups where you feel like it's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm not considering Gabe. And then we are going to need a flex. So I guess
Okay, well then I'll go London, Reed, and Rice.
unless you feel like, I know you're not, typically pro flex a tight end, but you're going to start Kelsey. Would you flex Ferguson?
I don't think so. I don't know. Because even still, without a touchdown, like what are you really getting from Ferguson?
Yeah.
So
You're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm gonna go London, Reed, Rice, Kelsey in the flex, Herbert at QB.
Yeah, Herbert and Kelsey are the easy ones. London, agree. I think Reed. I mean, when to get in? I might go Lockett over Rice. That's the tough one for me. Yeah, I might go Lockett. Just hope for a bigger game, but it's tough between those guys. All right, this one is not as tough. We have Tellez, Jaden Reed, or Nico.
Definitely got to still go Nico. I mean,
Yeah,
I know it's the Jets, but he's locked into the targets. He's been great. I like Reed, but more like, yeah, you're down to the deeper guys. I'm going Nico.
right. And then Big T, Watson or Godwin?
I mean, if Watson even plays, even if he's on the injury report, I'll take a chance on Watson. I mean, what are you getting with Godwin? You got a 19-yard touchdown, and I don't mean a 19-yard receiving touchdown. I mean a 19-yard end-around touchdown from Chris Godwin last week. I'll take whatever Watson gives me, healthy or not.
Yes, it's Watson, assuming he's good to go. Austin J. Let's see. Flex. Got a lot of Rice questions. Rice, Elliott, or Brandon Cooks?
I think I'm going Brandon Cooks. I like the upside here. Elliott. Wow, Elliott and Rice are safer. Probably. Maybe. Cooks, I mean, at home against this Phillies secondary, give me Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, go Brandon Cooks. Picked him to boom this week. You'll see that on the video. What day is it? Tomorrow, I think. Yeah, I like Brandon Cooks. Okay, so for Mr. J School, I guess we do have to choose Jordan Love or Tua.
I still got to go Tua. At home
Yes.
against the Titans, those weapons, I'm going Tua.
Yes, you got to go Tua this week. Like Jordan Love this week, but you got to go Tua. All right, so it is a one quarterback league. Just wanted to make sure there. Kevin Guevara. I think we had this too the other day. Mahomes or Purdy?
I'm still going Mahomes. This should be a big game. I mean, it's a big game for both these teams. So they're at home. I'm going Mahomes.
Yeah, I'm still starting Mahomes. Feel like it should be a big Mahomes week. Totally justifiable to be concerned. The way he's been playing lately. I shouldn't even say playing. He's playing fine, but for fantasy numbers he's putting up, I'm starting Mahomes. And actually, there was something I saw today. You probably saw it too. With Brock Purdy, in terms of his effectiveness versus defenses, is saying that the Seahawks. I'm trying to remember the source. It was on Twitter or something, but the Seahawks deploy cover 3, cover 4, and cover 6 at like a 70% rate, which is the highest in the league. And Brock Purdy's EPA per play versus those defenses is like half as much as it is against every other defense. And basically, it's not great. Now, you look at what he did last time. Well, yeah, the Niners rolled him, but it wasn't him. It was really CMC, wasn't it? In that game on Thanksgiving, wasn't it mainly the running game?
Yeah, running game did have a good game for sure.
Now, of course, they didn't have to pass because Seahawks just rolled over. Anyways, I thought that was interesting. Now, you take everything with a grain of salt. Yeah, he had 209 yards, only one touchdown in that Seattle game. So I think we don't want to get too excited about Brock Purdy this week is what I'm saying. We're just going to assume, oh, look, he's smashing. You got to play him. I don't think so. He's playable, but I don't think he's going to go off this week. It's Mahomes. All right, Troy Helms. Devontae Smith or Chris Olave?
Oh. think I gotta go Smith. I mean, again, talking about this game, they're in Dallas. You got to think the Cowboys' offense at home has just been insane. The Eagles' secondary has not been insane. You got to think this is going to be, like I said, a high score. Whether the Eagles want to run it or not, they're probably going to have to throw it a lot. So I think I got to go Devon Smith.
Yeah, and there's still a question about what New Orleans is going to do. Who's going to be quarterback? If it's Derek Carr, I almost feel worse because he's not been playing great and he's going to be ineffective. Remember last time he got hurt, we had just assumed he was going to miss with that shoulder injury, and then he played, and all he did was dump it off to Kamara 12 times. Not saying it's going to happen, but I also wouldn't be shocked. Wait, don't the Saints play the Panthers? Is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
Are they even going to need to throw the ball? No. I mean, I like Olave enough to start him, but I'll go Devontae Smith too. All right, what's up? Rusty Shackelford is back. 12 team, half PPR. 8-5, third. Okay, good. Third, 8, as long as you're in the playoffs. Josh Allen, Devontae Adams, Pittman, Eckler, Bijan, Laporta, and Moss. On the bench is Deontay Higgins, Ford, and Gabe. Would you put any of those guys in?
Nope. Definitely not. Like what you have. Looks good.
No, I don't think I would even consider any of them. Higgins, I mean, is Higgins even going to be playable the rest of this season?
I don't know. That's the thing. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, Browning had a big game and Higgins was not a part of it. So, I don't know.
I just benched. Well, I shouldn't say that because I already had him benched last week. I have Higgins on my bench everywhere I have Higgins. I'm not starting him. Doug Fenton, full PPR, 2 receivers, 1 flex. Have only Lamb, Smith, and Puka. Okay, so we need some depth here. Potential pickups. Douglas, Pickens, Zay, Jones, Mingo, and Shakir.
I mean, I think you got to get Zay Jones. Because even if Trevor Lawrence misses this week, if he's back the next week, you got to feel pretty good about Zay Jones. Christian Kirk out. I mean, I would definitely still be, I don't know. Is it time to just give up on Pickens? Do we need to add Pickens?
I put Pickens in the mix here. To me, it's the middle 3 are the considerations.
Yeah.
I like Douglas, but, well, first of all, he's not even playing this week. And second of all, it's the Patriots. Like, just no. And then that goes for the other guy there who's on the Patriots. Shakir, too deep. So it's either Pickens, Zay, or Mingo. And I think Pickens and Zay still have the edge over Mingo because they could actually score a touchdown. So, I mean, we just, like, I guess pick your favorite. So if you had to pick one, is it Zay or Pickens? Probably Zay for you.
Yeah, probably Zay number 1 because he has Trevor Lawrence, and it doesn't sound like Lawrence is going to miss much time. So at least, like, okay, yeah, maybe this week not great with Beathard against the Browns, but in the fantasy playoffs, he should be pretty good. So I'd probably go Zay 1. I see. I want to say Pickens 2. Pickens 2 for the upside, but it's like this. It's like Brees Hall, right? It's like this perceived upside that isn't really there. Like, what upside? Where is this upside? Like, well, he can always like catch a long touchdown. Yeah, sure. I can always win the lottery. Like a lot of things could always happen, but where is it? Like when is it actually going to really happen? Not to mention we don't even know how long Pickett's out for. I don't know. I might go
at least with Pickens. With Pickens and Brees, it did happen in like weeks 5 and 6 and 7. It's just that doesn't matter anymore. What's the upside right now?
Right.
But I still think his upside is as much, if not more, than Mingo and the other guys. So I would go Zay Jones as 1. I would say Pickens 2 and then Mingo. But I don't know how many you need here. What about Max Leitner, Stroud, or Minshew?
I'm still going to go Stroud here. I'll take my chances with the better player in the worst matchup.
Agree. I don't want to go full Colts stack. I think Moss and Pittman's enough. Or Flacco, Stafford, Winston. Stroud over those guys, probably.
Yeah, I'm still going Stroud over those guys, yes.
All right, let's see. We got Marinda Nicely. Welcome, Marinda. Need help with 1 wide receiver and 2 flex full PPR. Thielen, Javonte, Jaden Reed, Zeke, Jacoby Myers, Noah Brown, Jalen Warren, and Jaden Reed.
1 wide receiver. Okay, at wide receiver, I'm going to go Jaden Reed. I'm going to go Zeke. Oh, man, Zeke. Oh, man. Maybe Warren if Najee is out. If Najee plays, do I still go Warren?
Well, I can say I would like him over Javonte for sure. I'm just going to say no to Javonte. I don't think
No to
either of us are
Thielen.
even entertaining Thielen this week, are we?
No to Thielen. I'm still not in on Myers. I mean, maybe Brown, but it's a bad matchup.
Yeah,
I might just go Reed, Zeke, and Warren.
Yeah, I'm fine starting Warren even if Najee plays. All right, so Zeke and Warren at the flex and Reed as your receiver. I think that's fine. All right. Let's go ahead and answer this. All right, Emmanuel Garcia. Towing the line between spamming and just being persistent. I admire the persistence. So let's do this because he spaced them out. Full PPR, leave one out. You have to bench either Etienne, Kyron, Pollard, or Achane. I think I know who I'm sitting.
I think here I'm benching Pollard.
Yeah.
Benching Pollard. Yep. Pollard's the odd man out for me.
Agree.
Man.
Gotta start Achane.
Nice running back room, though.
Not feeling bad. Not worried about Etienne or anything, are you?
No, I'm not worried about Etienne.
All right, Rob. Wow. If he wins, he's second. If he loses, maybe out.
What?
14-teamer.
Second to out. What?
Well,
wow.
He's
okay.
like right there in the middle, fourth maybe, something like that. Okay.
Like a league where there's like 6 teams all with like similar records, I guess.
All right, let's see. We got to nail this. 1 QB, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 2 flex, and a tight end. Hurts. That's good.
Yes.
Kyron and Mixon.
Maybe.
Pittman and Nico, Adams and Mitchell, and then Hawk at tight end. All right, so on the bench, we got Addison, Downs, Charbonnet, Noah Brown. Keep it as is.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would consider is maybe Mitchell, but who would I start over Mitchell? Yeah, just keep it as is. I mean, maybe Downs, but even that doesn't feel like a sure thing.
Yeah.
Noah Brown. Yeah, just keep it how you have it. Good luck, Rob. I hope you win and finish second and not lose and somehow miss the playoffs. That seems crazy.
Yeah, I don't want to start Addison this week if I can help it. Charbonnet, you feel like, well, what if Kenneth Walker doesn't play and you get Charbonnet with a workhorse role again? But man, at San Francisco, if he doesn't score, which you can't feel great about, what is he really getting you? You might as well go with the upside of Mitchell. So I think you have it. I think you have it right. You got good receivers, so I think you've got enough upside. You can in the 14-team league, you're pretty solid. I think you can pull this one out. Good luck, Rob. Let's see. We got Vibov Shah in a half PPR league, 1 QB, 2-2-1, and 2 flexes. Got Josh Allen, Bijan and Achan, CD and DJM, Kincaid needs to win. So we need 2 flexes here. Swift, Rice, Ridley, Gainwell. Can't play Gainwell.
I can't flex Swift and Gainwell. That's a little much. I'm gonna go Swift. I think I'm going Rice over Ridley. It's not a good matchup for Ridley. Probably gonna have a backup quarterback, CJ Beathard. I'm going Swift and Rice.
Yeah, I think you got to go Rice over Ridley because Ridley didn't have a good game even with Trevor Lawrence basically the entire game. He needs things to break right for him, it seems like. I don't know with CJ Beathard there if it will. Bijan Achan. Yeah, your starters are already really good. Swift and Rice. There it is. Swift and Rice. Rise above anything. Wants to know because I mentioned Pacheco was out today, but McKinnon has missed the last 2 games. Is McKinnon even practicing?
Well, I did see that Andy Reid said, yeah, he expects them back at practice and he feels good about their availability this week.
What is it, week 14? Isn't this this time when Jerick McKinnon randomly scores 3 touchdowns?
Yeah,
just watch. Man. Pacheco doesn't play. McKinnon does play. McKinnon, goes off.
You know what? It's that time of year. Everybody go pick up Jerick McKinnon. Pacheco, suddenly they're going to be like, he's going to need the surgery from out of nowhere. His season is over. Jerick McKinnon, league winner.
Yeah. He is worth a stash. I'll say that. You're asking, he is worth a stash. I mentioned him, I think, 2 weeks ago. And, of course, what happened when I mentioned him, the very next week he got hurt. I think he's worth a stash. Sure, why not? He can score. I mean, there's no way we could say he's going to do what he did last year. But we also can't say for sure that he's not going to do what he did last year. Doug, got the membership. All right, thank you, Doug. Appreciate that. Wow, that's interesting. Rob saying he is in 4th. A loss could land him in a 7-way tie.
Wow, and I'm guessing you lose the tiebreaker by points, or maybe that's crazy.
It's a 14-teamer, so I guess just more possibilities.
But I mean, usually when you're in 4th, going into the last week of the season, you're pretty much locked in. Most of the time.
Most of the time. Yeah, it just must be a lot of parity. There's one of our leagues, I can't remember which one, where there's like 5 teams that are 7-6, and there's a couple of teams that are 6-7. So I don't know all the combinations. I don't pay attention to that, but yeah, it happens. All right, how about Hawaiian Lion, Pickens, Addison, or Goddard in the flex?
Oh, man.
Break out the magic 8 ball for this one.
I guess just gamble on the perceived upside of George Pickens. I don't like. These guys are all gambles. Like, I don't think I can flex Goddard. I don't think I'm ready to flex Dallas Goedert.
No, I wouldn't go Goddard, too risky. Even if he plays, it's not like it's a smash spot. So I wouldn't go Goddard. Like I said, I'm not feeling great things for Addison. Sure, go for Pickens. Pickens in one play could make something happen. So there you go. All right, what about Gabriel Hawk, 18? In PPR flex, Flowers, Lockett, Mixon, Reed, or Keaton?
I'm going to skip ahead of the tight end question because it's easier. Likely. I will say Auden has a great matchup this week, but man, we can't even trust Auden at this point. So
no.
Likely at tight end. All right, back to your flex question. I guess you got to go Mixon.
Well, they get Indy, right? Indianapolis.
Yeah, it's a great matchup.
It's a good matchup.
He could always score, catch some passes. I think you got to go Mixon.
Yeah, Colts 4th most fantasy points allowed to running backs.
Yeah.
13 touchdowns. It's been a really good matchup for a lot of running backs. I don't know. I guess I got so used to being uninspired by Mixon. I was like, who else? But Lockett against the Niners, Flowers in that game could be bad. I like Jaden Reed. It's between Reed and Mixon, I think, for me. Probably, yeah, I'm fine with Mixon because of the matchup, though. Look what he did last week. Yeah, and Auden, nah. Auden's just not getting it done. And this week, I would go likely. Angelo brought up a good point here. Keep an eye on the waiver wire. We always say this, whether you need somebody or whether you're interested in this week's, waiver wire pickups or not, always check, always look at the transaction list on your league, because you never know. There's always people who just randomly drop good players for absolutely no reason.
Hey, they're
Some
on
teams are
bye and I
desperate.
got to win this week.
And like you said, some teams are like, oh, no, it's a bye. I need a quarterback. Well, I guess I have to drop, Devontae Adams. It's like, okay. People do things like this. They do things like this. So always check. All right. Let's see. Let's get some more questions in here while we're still on for a little bit longer. So if you got any more is this one? Is this a must? Taysom for MVP.
I don't know about that one.
All right, Woods Girl, another weather update. All right, wants to know about the weather in Cincinnati. Wants to start Jake Browning. Would you go with Russell Wilson?
Oh, I think I would go with Russell Wilson either way. He gets to play in comfy SoFi where the weather's always good. The Chargers' defense is terrible. I would go Russell either way.
Not so much because of the weather. I have no idea what the weather is going to be like in Cincinnati, but Russell Wilson should be pretty good in terms of matchup.
Weather in Cincinnati looks fine. It says rain should clear pregame. This is far out from the actual game. Low impact weather game that barely deserves the yellow color I'm giving it. So, but I would go Russell Wilson either way.
One thing about Russ is he's running a lot lately, running for touchdowns. So that's a good thing. So yeah, just go Russ. Big dog pound. Needs a flex. Laporta, Cook, Ridley, Mitchell, or Gus. Is this a case where you're going to flex a tight end?
I mean, it's hard not to after he had that huge game last week, but I might just go James Cook. I mean, he does get the Bears. How are the Bears against tight ends? They can't be that good.
No, they're not that good against anything. They're okay. Well, actually, no, they're kind of toward the lower end.
Yeah, they're kind of middle of the pack-ish. I don't know. I might go James Cook. Laporta is certainly tempting, but I think I'm going to go Cook.
It's one of those first two for me. Cook is safer a little bit. Laporta, I think, has higher upside. I actually might just go Laporta. But it's one of those, Laporta or Cook. So big dog pound. Make the call. It's your gut. Your gut telling you want to go Cook or Laporta. All right, Jackson Van Zyl, Taysom Hill, or Dallas Goedert.
I think I'm going to go Goddard. He should be fully healthy. Remember, he was practicing last week. He was close. Again, it should be a high-scoring game. He should be involved. Taysom Hill banged up now. I'm just going to go Goddard.
Yeah, with Taysom Hill questionable, who knows? I feel like he had his big game last week. I can't call it 2 weeks in a row. So let's go Goddard. And we got a dynasty question. About time. Zach Kaiser. Would you trade Cooper Kupp for a late second-round pick and Marvin Mims? Is that enough? I mean, I know he's not young, but a late second in Mims.
I don't know. I haven't seen enough for Mims this year. I mean, what's the path for Mims? Jerry Jeudy leaves, and then he's the guy suddenly, but not a lot of receivers do what Mims does year one and then pans out. So I think you should get more for Kupp. Look, if you want to trade Cooper Kupp, go to a contender. Go to a contender who's trying to win and see what they'll give you for Cooper Kupp. It'd be better if Cooper Kupp was actually playing well, but like that's the kind of team you want. You don't want to trade like Cooper Kupp to. You want to trade him to a contender who's trying to win. Go get there first. Go get some contenders late first.
I don't know if you'll get a first for Kupp at this point, but a late second and Mims just doesn't feel like enough. This feels like selling low, doesn't it? It just feels like you're.
All right, let me ask you this: you're 10-2. You just lost Tank Dell. I say Cooper Kupp for your late first. You're taking Cooper Kupp.
I mean, I wish I could say yes. I would if I knew for sure Cooper Kupp was going to help me down the stretch. I don't know. I don't know for sure how much he's going to help me. That's the thing.
But I mean, sure, if you still have other good options, but let's say now you're going to the bench and you're like, I don't know, you're having to play like.
Well, yeah, I know what you're saying. You're saying like, oh, well, now my wide receiver 3 is like Romeo Dobbs, and I have to start him.
Right, something like that. And it's like, hey, you have a chance to win the championship this year, and like, if you win, that first is the 112. It's basically almost an early second, right? Not everybody's going to go for it, but that's what I'd be looking for Cooper Kupp right now. And look, if nobody wants to give it to you right now, that's fine. Maybe Cooper Kupp has a big game this week. Now suddenly a team that's trying to win the championship might give you that first for Cooper Kupp. If they lost Christian Kirk, Tank Dell, somebody like that who, are trying to make a run.
Yeah, I definitely would try to get a first-round pick. If you're not going to get that, I don't expect that you would. I would still try to get more. Instead of a late second, I'm trying to get at least an early mid-second. And instead of Mims, I think I want it more importantly, because really early, mid-second, not a huge difference, right? But
okay, let's ask you this. Let's say you're same team, you just lost Tank Dell, you're going to have to put Romeo Dobbs or, whatever, somebody like that as your wide receiver 3 now. I come to you, I say, I'll give you Cooper Kupp for Romeo Dobbs, and let's say you have an early second. Maybe you have like somehow you accrued a second from some team that's going to like way at the bottom of the standings. Are you giving me Romeo Dobbs in your early second for Cooper Kupp to try to make a run this year?
Yeah.
So you can maybe even do that. If you can't get a first, maybe you can get a decent second and then like a young wide receiver, but not like a Mims, somebody who's actually done something.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Instead of Mims, I would try to get somebody like a Jaden Reed or maybe a Mingo, someone who has a chance to come on. A Josh Downs, I feel like is a great buy low in Dynasty.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing. Try to get more.
Right.
All right. Dynasty. I love Dynasty trades. Okay.
Exactly. Dynasty is the best because you never know, right? You know how people value things, and yeah. You can always say like win-win trades, right? Like this situation, like, hey, you're trying to win a championship. I'm not. You need Cooper Kupp because you lost Tank Dell or Christian Kirk. I don't need him anymore. Let's make this work. Win-win for both of us.
And hey, if anybody out there who is in Dynasty leagues right now, you should be active. This is the time to be active. If you're a contender, make a push. Maybe you don't need anything. Don't trade away your draft picks just to trade away draft picks, But if you are not pretty sure you're going to win this year, you should be trying to accumulate young players' draft picks, right? There's no need to hold on to crusty veterans. All right, guys. I think we are good. We are going to sign out for today. We'll be back. Don't worry. How about tomorrow? We'll just do it tomorrow. We'll give you a game preview of the exciting showdown between the Patriots and Steelers, but also help you answer your final questions for that game. You still want to know about your Steelers, your Patriots, injury updates, everything. So check it out tomorrow. Hit that notification bell so you know as soon as we go live every time. And if you haven't, one last time, got to remind you, it's still Najee. Still assuming he's going to play. If you're new to Underdog, try it out. You just click that link in the description below. It'll take you straight there, or use the app. It's a great app, super easy to use. Make sure you use promo code ENDGAME. You get the deposit match up to $100, 100%, and the Najee Harris special. He just needs 1 yard, just one. All right, so you get that free pick. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Appreciate all of you guys. We'll see you next time.